I'm Brendan. I'm playing Sterling Reynolds, the human commander.
My name is Amber Rose, and I'm playing Beatrice Adley Matilda Francesca Solomon Smith. She is a wood elf occultist.
Hello, my name is Jeffrey Hodge. I play Robinil Rockapace, a wood elf bard.
I'm Daniel, and I run the wood elf monk named San Gomez Maxillian, the friendly neighborhood medicine man gypsy.
Hi, I'm Vivian, and I play Mabrianne Shergo, the Go Get 'em Rogue.
I'm Corey. I play Eduardo Del Monte, Wood Elf Ranger.
I am Trevor. I am the GM for this 13-page campaign.
We have not decided whether you get to keep the bat or not. Unfortunately, this would be an easier decision to make if the captain was here.
Yeah, he's still trying to bilk the slaves out of more money because of the crew members that got hit during the battle.
I'm pretty sure what the captain is doing is recovering from the, 3 times he was knocked unconscious during that fight?
He's just like, I'm gonna go lie down.
I'm pretty sure he has a concussion.
I'm gonna go lie down. Okay.
Alright, who's the first officer?
First mate?
Yeah.
That would be Betty, actually. Quartermaster is in command if captain is AWOL.
Sorry, it took
Certain
a lot of
things are gonna
willpower.
fly.
It took a little willpower there not to cackle maniacally.
Perhaps this policy of the ship needs to change then.
Alright, so I meet up with, was it Greg or Gerard or...
Gerard was the guy who was quasi in charge of the slave rebellion, although I guess they're not slaves anymore, they're just people.
Yeah.
And Betty went around taking a head count and asking where everyone was from, if they needed anyone contacted.
Sure. You get, of the 37 surviving slaves, or, well, survivors anyway,
Yeah.
Betty, you going around getting a head count, most of them, about 25 of them, want to return home, but they don't really have any means of doing so. They are
Well,
from
there is an empty ship, right?
They are from an absolutely scattershot collection of different places. You can immediately know that it would be horrendously impractical to try and get them all home yourselves. You could, for example, try to give them that ship that the slavers were using, the Ogre's Knob.
Or we could take it for ourselves and have 2 ships.
But
You don't really have enough crew to do that yet.
And we're not going to strand the slaves there. Can you imagine what Brendan would do when he got back?
When he wakes up, you
and
mean.
then told
Yes.
There are about a dozen of them who are willing to try and remain at the plantation and try and run it themselves. That actually includes Gerard. A cursory conversation with him indicates he has no interest in going back to Brighton. You could give me some kind of wisdom-y insight check.
Why?
Try and figure out
Certainly.
why. You could also go charisma if you want to try and just talk a bit explaining the rest.
Okay,
23.
charisma, that would be a 22 on my charisma check.
As far as you can tell, he hates Brighton a little bit right now.
Okay.
His opinion is that they abandoned him in his hour of greatest need.
Yeah.
Okay.
Considering he's been here for a couple of years and no one came to get him.
So, Gerard, here's what I'm thinking.
And all the other members of the crew that were captured with him are now dead.
I'm getting the feeling that a lot of the slaves respect you, and they feel like you should be in charge of this place now. What do you say about that?
I don't know, do they? It's like looking around, a couple of other slaves are like,
I don't think they mind.
they don't really have a
The other
leader
guy.
exactly. He certainly has the most combat experience of anyone on this island. Well, apart from you guys.
Get him to join us. We could do with somebody
Hey,
competent
Brendan's
on here.
Ah, the captain's woken up.
The captain's woken up from his
We should
concussion.
ask him if we were to circumnavigate the guard, how would we do that?
If you want to stick it to Brighton,
Yeah. If
Yeah,
we're
so anyways,
inclined.
I will consult him on that before we go.
I'm mentioning this mostly because we're not going to be staying for that long, obviously, and we're wondering if you need anything like to get started making this place your own, really, because you have a nice island here. You've got a very well-educated workforce and experience.
Experience, not.
Does he have a family?
He doesn't want to go back to Brighton. He's mad at them because they abandoned him.
Yes, but does he have a family?
We'll cross them.
If you ask him, not much of one.
Okay.
He had a sister, he doesn't know if she's still alive.
Okay. Well, no, I was
Most of his family worked on the same ship he did.
I was gonna ask if he wanted us to send word back in Brighton to come back here to.
He'd appreciate that.
Sure. We'll do.
Betty, you are a linguist. You are not a linguist, sorry.
Well educated.
Logistical
Yes.
master. You can work out that 12 people is not really enough people to effectively run this place. I mean, they could run it, but that's not enough people to effectively defend it if somebody attacked them. You would guess it would take about 20 people for it to not necessarily be able to fully thwart an attack, but to at least make an attack unprofitable for someone trying to do it. To the point where it's like, well, there's only 20 of them, but we wouldn't get that much fighting them anyway. Like, at that point for an attacker, the losses are a bit too high to be worth doing. So you have about 12 people who want to stay and run the plantation. Requires about 20. You have about 25 of them who want to go home, which leaves you with a bit of a dilemma.
Well, the first thing we need to do is...
What if we talk to our crew, ask them, anybody want to stay here and work?
None of them want to stay and work on a farm.
I mean,
Yeah.
They're all sailors. None of them have any idea how to work a farm.
fair enough.
Why don't we just
There might be like one guy who's like, I could.
Time out,
I mean,
time out.
my family worked a farm. And I'm not super keen on the idea.
We flip the whole thing on its head. You're a slave now. Go work.
Too much worrying about the place here. Let's make sure that we have enough supplies to get back to Brighton ourselves, because right now we don't. So,
stop by an island on the way?
There are no islands on the way.
well, there are
Just
little
stop by
ones.
an island on the way.
There are
There are
no
little ones.
proper.
There aren't any
resupply
inhabited islands along
Oh,
the way.
Yeah.
can we see if they have
There are empty ones, so
a?
you could try and try your luck at hunting.
Can we see if they have any kind of like those drag fishing nets?
The Ogre's Knob, the ship does have a dredge net on it.
Do they have one
It's
that's
not in great repair though, because it looks like it was mostly existed to convince observers that it was a fishing boat.
We can fix that.
You might be able to fix it.
It's just like a wagon. I got this.
All right, so I think the key points here: we need to get enough food to get home.
Yep.
Food and water to get home. We can try and charisma. I'm looking at you over there,
me.
or you.
Why does everyone overlook me? I'm a fucking commander.
Sorry, between,
Jesus Christ.
Also,
Sorry,
we should
between
point
the
out
two of you.
his charisma's 17. It's not particularly lower than his.
Sorry,
like,
oh,
literally,
Well, no, it's
It's like one lower.
No, the next thing we're doing is getting stat points. I'm going to 4. That's why I designed it like this.
I have a recommendation.
Like,
So
everybody overlooks me. I'm like, are you guys serious?
It's just
Can
so
I
much more
finish?
ass.
Can I finish this thing? After both of you try and charisma the crew to get a few more of them to stay and help run the island, and then we can try and get the rest of them to get the other ship operational so they can get home.
No, I think we should convince them, like all the slaves, to just stay because they're gonna need to get money to get whatever to be able to get where they want to go anyway.
like maybe just one season's worth of the harvest.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are all points that these guys.
Convince slaves.
That's the point.
I'm
But
just
we can
again
always-
going to point this out. They're not slaves anymore.
No, they're not. The other thing is we can
They
always.
might be mildly annoyed if you keep going.
Okay, well, we have to
Although,
convince them.
really, they're probably pretty broken down at this point. They probably wouldn't care.
The other thing is, if we can convince them to stay around for season 2, be able to make enough money to get like their lives going again, we can always
How about
volunteer
we
to bring back
convince the
mail or
slaves
anything
that,
else like
uh,
that.
Stop
That's
calling them that.
The
The people.
The people. Maybe if we can convince them to stay on the island until we come back with additional
I don't wanna
recruits.
go
For,
We're
Yeah,
coming back.
I don't think we're coming back.
Well, once Brighton
We'll send a
knows
ship. No, we're
that
no,
the
no,
place
no.
is
We're sending a ship back. We're gonna
Yeah.
be like, hey, like first we're gonna sell all the sugar and be like, okay, we got it. Now, hey Brighton, it's
They're-
all good.
Yeah.
So like, send ships. They need help.
yeah.
By the way, I had a
Workers,
thought.
people who want to work on the farm.
I had a thought about the sugar, by the way.
Yeah.
If we do decide to keep a bat, or possibly 2 of the bats, if we had built
2 of them might be a bit much to stay
well,
on your
they
boat.
don't. Well, they're both
But you
had a
could
bat.
probably get one of them, like,
Well-
make it a perch under the crow's nest or something.
I was saying if we had built some kind of, which presumably they have to have somewhere to stay. It might actually be Captain's quarters.
No, it's just gonna be right under the crow's nest.
Are we
But-
transporting
But the
what?
thing is, if we tried to hide the sugar in wherever their enclosure was, we'd be like, just stay away from the bat. He's not exactly people.
Oh! Wait, what?
Sugar.
We're hiding the sugar in the bat?
No.
No, around the bat.
Oh.
I think her plan is that if there's a giant bat hanging out where the sugar is, if someone comes to inspect the hole, that there's a giant fucking bat in it, They're probably gonna go, is this worth my paycheck?
And
Yeah.
whatever is
enough.
under the bat
Okay,
should
like,
be covered in
like,
shit.
I mean,
Yeah,
no,
that's not
like, no, but there's there's two options there because we can
However-
taunt on it.
However, there is a risk that the bat will eat sugar or poop on it.
We can also taunt on it, guys. You know, like gut the bat
water.
and then like scoop it all out and like clean out the insides and then just like double burlap and throw it inside the bat, seal it up, and then hang it from the crow's nest by its feet. So it's like it's sleeping. It's fine, but it's secretly our smuggling spot.
You are not killing
Sounds
birds.
like cocaine.
That's
What about
genius.
the other bat?
This sounds
Guys,
like
it's
opium.
genius. Who the fuck wants to open up a bat? No one.
Who would think to do that?
I'm just gonna say, sugar is water soluble. Bat corpses contain water.
What if we had a waterproof bag? That's all good.
There's no plastic
Like
bags
leather.
at this
I
time.
will say only this: it's possible you could do that.
Like they must have
Although the volume of sugar you're talking about is a bit much to fit in one bat. There are the other bats.
I mean,
I would say if you used all of them, you could
we've
totally
killed
do
more
that.
than one bat, right?
Yeah, there's two of them that are dead.
Oh my god.
So we could totally do it. We just need leather. We just need a lot of leather.
None of the bats died.
Yeah.
Shank and Kovac
Damn
have
it.
one, he has one, you were on one, and the last one got its rider knocked off and it's just flying around.
All right, fuck it. I'm not
It'll
doing
probably come and roost eventually.
that. That'd be so interesting. You line the insides with leather. That's relatively waterproof.
We also have to have some kind of
okay.
thing on it to stop it from
You know what's
rotting.
How about
waterproof
you-
that?
hey, you know what's made
They
of leather?
use other
That's good.
guts.
Why
Okay.
don't you just turn the bat inside out? I'm sure that won't be creepy. And just say it's bat meat. We're transporting bat meat.
It's a fair point. It's a fair
It's like
point.
when you go to one of those butcher shops in Wales where the rabbits are inside out
Yeah.
and hanging in the window and you're like, why? Why would you do
Inside
that?
out,
No,
they're
well,
just
we'll tell
skin.
them this is a butchering method. You know, you bleed it,
Okay,
so
we're
it's
not-
delicious.
Onto the deck?
Yeah, because it's delicious when you do
Have
that.
to bleed it out on the deck.
I mean,
Put a pin on this.
I
don't think this is
mean-
going anywhere.
I disagree.
I think this is a fantastic plan. It'll be a permanent solution to our smuggling needs.
Until the bat rots.
I don't think.
No, we just because we'll get Brighton. And
Okay,
then we'll
no,
get the bats
we
preserved.
have a problem.
What, 4 weeks?
Guys,
There is
You're
another
talking, even if you
problem.
run through like Sahagwin Alley, it's
Guys.
like 4 weeks you're talking.
There is another problem with the plan. We only have 2 bats. There is not enough volume inside those 2 bats for our gigantic ass shipment of sugar.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
We have a
I
hull
think
full of
the
sugar.
the guard room with the bat is a good idea.
I will point out your hold is not entirely full of sugar. There's some space in there. You can take
make it.
more.
Let's not. I think.
Depends on how much of it you want to
Well,
leave
okay,
the
no,
slaves
first,
with.
first of all, how much do we owe to the guy we have the job with?
You don't owe him anything.
we're just trying to get as
He
much
is a
as we
buyer
can.
of it. When you
How much-
show up with an amount of it, you
Okay.
will sell
So
it
we
to
just
him.
want
Okay,
the
So we're still
most we
hoping
can
to
get.
make more than what we paid for the
All
sugar.
right, fair enough. Okay.
I mean, we risk diabetes, but we could probably use some of that sugar as food.
You could. It would make your sales less.
Yeah.
There is food on the island, although there's not a whole lot of
Yeah.
non-perishable food on the island.
Yeah.
I think we have to leave the food for the slaver. I'm sorry,
Street slave.
people.
Well, I mean, one of our crew members has plenty of food that we can take.
What?
Dead people.
Good job. You're set.
Yeah, you're set. You're just
Yeah,
like,
you're like, I
you do
know these
surgery,
were
and you're like,
cadavers.
oh no, he died in the operation. No.
Is it kind of like where you're making a sandwich and you keep eating bits of it as you go?
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need 2 kidneys. How
There's probably like some sort of storage. Like this is the only inhabited island for a while, right?
Fairways, yeah.
What if
Yeah,
we do
so they'll
this?
probably,
We
like-
transport the slaves who
They-
want to
they
be
probably have a
free
storehouse.
also in the cargo hold.
Yeah, they have.
And then when the people
you
come
see,
in, we're like, yeah, we freed
They
some slaves.
had this building
That's
for storing things
Actually,
Yeah.
in. They now have a quarter of a building for storing things in.
Actually, he
might
makes
have to
a
fix
good
that.
point. If we can,
Now, the other thing
transport
to keep in mind
ex-slaves,
is with the slavers all dead, they had a manor house, and there's the bunkhouse that the slaves should be in. Slaves are probably going to move into the manor. The bunkhouse is now currently not being used for anything.
Yeah.
You could store stuff in there.
Yeah. That works.
Patch some of the holes in the walls.
now the thing is, if you
Tear
had
down the
just had a good idea, if any of those slaves whose final destination was Brighton, if we volunteered to ship them back with us, and if we turned like part of our storage
Yeah,
hold
like cargo
into like
hold into-
temporary like quarters kind of thing. So when they're like someone comes to investigate, we're like, oh, we actually our hold is actually where we're helping these slaves we just freed.
Don't go back there. That's where they poop.
It would
No.
depend. It would depend on how many of them you're transporting back.
That would imply that we
Can't
locked
we
them
just
in
say
this
you were
hold.
part of the crew? Wouldn't that be easier?
No. That would just we're thinking of ways to stop people from
No, we
searching
just
the ship.
have
And,
chamber
Yeah.
pots all up in the back, so it really stinks back there. Don't go there.
Never mind.
We're shipping fertilizer.
We're shipping bat shit. That's what we need those 4 bats for. All right, poop on the floor as much as you can.
Okay.
All right, you don't understand words.
Check Kopex,
Alright.
tell him.
So for starters, we need at least
Another dog.
I will say what you require is you will be making, when you return to Brighton, there's a sailing check you make to see if you can possibly shave some time off from your trip. If you succeed at it, you do save a week by going around. There is the most direct route back to Brighton is a 4-week trip. However, it travels through a place in the water called the Sahagwin Run, which is known to be inhabited with murderous fish people.
Yeah.
Some
so,
of whom are known to use magic,
so
which may go a long way to explaining the deranged and murderous part.
so we're
It is
looking
possible to sail around that by adding a week to your trip.
Okay.
If you make a sailing check, you don't lose that extra time.
Okay, so we're looking at a minimum of
4
like
weeks.
a minimum of 4 weeks, but more likely 5 weeks.
yeah.
So we have to plan for 5 weeks at least,
So we
which
need
means we
two
need
more
at
dots.
minimum
That,
2
that
more
is, of
dots of
course,
food and
assuming
water.
nothing else delays,
Yeah,
such as a storm or something like that.
yeah, I don't like that look on your face.
Simple. We just stop at the island where we buried the body.
It's not like for
Yeah,
5th
do
edition
some-
D&D has this
Yeah,
table in Dungeon Master's called Random Calamity at Sea. One of them is Kraken.
Oh God. How is that random? Somebody's supposed to release him.
So
It's actually I quite like the way it is. It's done.
two
You roll a
Krakens.
d12 and a d8,
Yeah.
and so they're weighted such that the middle ones are more likely to occur. And
Okay.
Kraken is like the high far end of one.
well, then, okay. So if we try and get 3 points of food, or at least get a way for us to get more food and water on the run.
we just have
so,
to fix the dragnet.
Yeah, saying dragnet to hopefully get us more food while we're moving. Water, in theory, we can get contraptions up to go.
Can we modify the distillery to refine seawater?
You could possibly try and do that.
Or
with
do
some
they
kind
just
of
have
crafting
enough
check.
stores of alcohol?
Do you-
Well, it is a still. It
I would
distills things.
like
if you
to-
put salt water in it, it would distill.
I'm
fresh
gonna
water out
ask
of it.
the.
However, it was somewhat damaged by a fire.
I'm gonna
I
ask the
can fix
new
So
it.
workers.
if you fix that, you might be able to get some.
There's also the possibility they
I would like to ask.
can do
I would
the
like to ask the
rigging.
new workers if we
I
could
mean,
take
I
the
can
still.
totally do the. I can help with the nets. I can't
That would
help
probably
with the
require
still.
some persuasion check, as it is a source of booze.
Let's not roll anything until we know what we want our plan to be. So let's because it's
gonna
not
take a while.
First point, we freed you. Like, just saying.
Put it this way: it wouldn't be a hard check, but it's still a check.
And if we can get some.
I think I'm sort of like have a repertoire with the recently released.
You mean a rapport?
Yeah.
repertoire.
A repertoire is like a collection of things
Okay.
you use for situations.
Okay.
Like a repertoire of jokes.
Okay.
And
Your character, for example, has a repertoire of songs.
Yes. And positions.
Yes, he also has one of those. One of those is larger than the other. We'll not specify which.
and with the food, you said most of the food we'd be able to get from here would be perishable. That's how we'll just use that food first.
Yeah.
Jerked fish.
The perishable, non-perishable amount of food on the island is mostly a concern if you try to transport all the slaves who want to leave, or all of them in general, back to
We're not going to be able. We can't.
If you try and do that, you're going to be a bit short of food unless you try to make the run from Sahagwin land.
Yeah. We're,
If you're just transporting a few of them and yourselves, you could probably scrounge enough stuff.
I think we're definitely. We're not going to be able to
I
take.
think we're not gonna do everybody.
No, we're doing some of them.
Since
We can definitely volunteer
Do
to
some.
take like letters
well,
and definitely inform people that
how
they're
many
there.
people want to go to Brighton? Is the first of the freed slaves.
Number of people who want to leave, period, is about 25.
Yep.
Brighton is the nearest port. Their best chance for getting home, short of using the other ship and trying their luck, none of them are really sailors.
Okay.
With the exception of Gerard.
Hey, crew members, who wants to be a captain?
If you want to do that, you could take a hit on your crew's ableness rating in order to
Yeah,
convert
so
some of them into the other ship and let them sail off.
Our ableness is
Both
only 30
people
right
do
now.
that.
I'd be willing to let.
Yeah,
our
if you wanted
crew-
to, you could take some of your crew, put them on that ship along some of the slaves, replace the missing crew you have with random freak
If
slaves.
our crew wants
You would
to
take
do
a
that,
hit
sure.
to your ableness rating because you now have a less competent crew.
We could definitely
But you
take
could do that.
Gerard on ours, and because I feel like
Gerard
if
doesn't
we-
wanna leave.
Well, the thing is,
Correction.
if he's not going to.
Gerard does not want to particularly go and live in Brighton.
Ah, I see.
Yeah,
That's
and
it.
He can help
Apart
us
from
get
that,
stuff
he
passed.
has no real plans.
Okay, yeah, then
He's happy to work here. He's happy to join your crew.
We'll take Gerard, and then we'll bring him to Brighton, but when he's at Brighton, we'll help him get a new ship to come back and start all of
Or make him the captain of
everything.
the other ship.
I think we're forgetting
No,
one
but then
im-
if it's just easier if we bring him back to Brighton and then have him get set up to come back and set things up on the island.
You could also just have him join your crew.
Yeah, to say the thing is, if we kept him on our crew at least while we went there, he knows a little bit more about the Brighton security and stuff like that, and
He
he can
was
help us
formerly a
stick
member
it
of
to
the
them.
Brighton Harbor
No,
Patrol.
but that's what
By
I
getting
mean.
it stuff
No, but that's what I
past their
mean. If he's just on our ship, we just bring him there and get him ready to go back. That's
If
fine.
he
like,
wants to go
like
back,
that's
or he can
that's
stay with us. That's
Honestly,
his
Yeah,
prerogative.
I kinda wanna
yeah,
say,
that's not
like,
our
we
choice.
freed you.
I want to invite him onto our crew.
We freed
Sure.
you. Have at it.
I think we are forgetting one important thing. What are we going to call this island now that all the slavers are gone?
Out of business.
I'm
It doesn't
thinking
matter.
Feel Good Incorporated. I have a theme song written for it if you'd like
my
to hear
God.
it.
Sweet Leak Island?
Huh?
The Sweet Leak Island? Sweetwater Island?
But I have the theme song.
Probably Sweetwater. 'cause
sweet,
it's a
sweet
big
freedom.
Sweetwater.
Sweet Freedom Isle?
Yeah,
Sweet Freedom Isle.
yeah. I mean,
It's like an aisle at a store that sells
it's
freedom.
it's like somebody who names their dog Dog. You know,
Or
do it.
DOG.
Yeah.
DOG is the best name for a
It
dog.
is.
You just do it. Just easy. So invite Gerard. Take some of the crew. Take some of the slavers. Ask if anybody wants to have their own ship. They can do that. We'll let them.
We sacrifice some of our crew to help them
Yeah,
with that endeavor.
we'll do that, and then yeah, and then
We're gonna teach them how to
get
fish, 'cause we need fish
We
too.
have a problem. If we try and set them up on that second ship, we do not have enough supplies to get
wait, we're not-
everyone to Brighton.
No, that's why we needed fix
Well,
the.
how much
we need
supplies
to
would
get
we
food
need?
The
Yeah.
dragnet, the other island where
and water.
we can scratch something together.
If
How
you
much-
if you
how much
fix up the
supplies do we
dragnet
need?
and the still, you might be able to make enough food on the trip back.
Or make a little bit so we can get to that island and try and scrounge some more stuff.
Pretty much. That's our.
So I think we should try and talk to the now farmers if we can take this still.
And the other thing we need to consider is, though, if we're bringing back a second ship of freed slaves, we're not going to be able to hide the fact that we've freed Canewrack Island until after we've sold the sugar like we originally wanted.
We don't like. It's not that big of a deal if that happens. Like we lose some price on our sugar, but like it's still rare in the sense that
They
if you
haven't
want it
lied.
right now, you can't.
And
is
there's
a
also the
luxury
fact
good
that now the nearest sugar plantation is now out of business. So this is the
For
last
now.
one that they're going to get even
For
black,
now.
black
For a
market
little
for.
while, yes.
They're not gonna
So,
be able to have
I
the
think
same
Roy
output
wants to say
anymore.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's this other ship. It's a fishing ship, right?
It
Well,
is a
it's
slaving
fishing
ship.
Well,
It is
looks
doctored up to
disguised
look
as a-
like a
yes.
fishing ship.
Looks so. There's probably some sort of tools that's never been used on it. Like
There
sure
are-
is the net.
no,
but maybe
There
some
are.
other stuff
It would be
too.
more accurate to describe it as having tools which have never been maintained upon it. There is stuff on it that you could make use of.
Well, what do you want
What
to
in
grab?
particular are you asking about?
What are you looking for?
Well, it's there's nets. There's also things like you know those crab where those crab
Cages?
You know, crab cages and stuff.
Crawdad
Those
crabs,
those
yeah.
don't those aren't going to be effective for us. Because what you do is you drag them out and you dump them, and then you come back later and pick them back up. That's no help to us because we're going one way. We're not coming back.
Just, yeah, we're not
Like because we'd have to circle back to get the crabs. And that makes no sense. That's just wasting our time. So crab cages would not be helpful.
Crab fishing works best if you're staying in the same place. You go out in the day, set them, come back, sleep. The next day, go out again, collect them.
They can have the crab.
That's why dredge fishing is just amazing because you just sail and you're like, hey, let's bring it up.
Amazing.
Look,
I
I
Say
got
amazing.
Well, I mean, environmentally horrible, but super easy.
Yes.
Super easy. Because it's like, oh, drag it up. Hey, look, we caught a bunch of crap.
Stupid crustaceans.
I'm thinking of now the Animal Crossing
Heh,
punctuation
Stupid
video.
dolphin.
Oh.
Can't breathe. Stupid dolphin.
Not a mermaid.
Grow some gills.
Dolphins can breathe outside of water. They can only breathe. That's
No, I mean, like, no, yeah, like stupid dolphin, drown.
They
Grow some
die out of
gills.
the water because they dehydrate.
They can't. I know, but they can't breathe water. So like,
No.
like what you're doing is you're dragging it, and it can't breathe because you're trapping it in the net
Yes.
as you're dragging, and it drowns. And you're like, stupid dolphin, grow gills. That's the joke.
Yeah. Be like a shark.
Yeah. Be like your mortal enemy.
I don't know if I would use the phrase "mortal enemy" to describe dolphins.
Speaking of new crew members, I need to talk to
I mean, don't be so
Clarissa.
like kind to dolphins. They're rapists.
Yeah, I just
Okay,
have to
dolphins
make
are
some
actually pretty
explanations.
They're so
Straight up
cute.
rapists.
But they're so cute. They
Yeah,
steal.
guess what? They're rapists. Doesn't change that.
Dolphins?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're horrible, horrible rapists.
And they murder harbor porpoises for no reason.
Yeah. So don't be so nice to them.
There's a reason for fun.
Technically, as far as they can tell, it's because they resemble baby dolphins.
Oh Jesus.
And dolphins, like many animals, commit infanticide on a regular basis.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. Don't feel
There's a
so
lovely
bad for
book I suggest
dolphins.
you read it called Mother Nature's Tried to Kill You.
Don't feel so
See,
bad for dolphins.
I avoid large marine life in general. Actually, this is a pretty horrible campaign for me because most of the things I have like major fears of are large things that live in the water. So yeah.
All right.
Most of the really big whales are fairly harmless.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried they're gonna eat me. I'm worried I'm gonna be swimming along and they're gonna like clip me in the side of the head with their
Just
fin and
the
I'm gonna
orca
drown.
whales that hate you.
Don't even, okay?
Orcas
Okay,
don't
guys.
hate people.
They eat people.
They eat them. They just don't hate them.
No, they don't really hate anybody.
No, they hate seals and sharks.
Okay, yes.
Hate them.
yes.
They love them. They're delicious.
No, but the thing is, they're willing to kill themselves to eat
Okay,
them.
we need to make some decisions here,
That's
guys.
the thing.
I think the first thing we need to do is
I think
gather
that's like a
food.
level of hate.
Yeah.
We need a few more dots before we do anything.
So we need to negotiate for the
Stay here for a
distillery,
week, try
get
and
that
get food, and
drag
Net,
net,
yeah.
and
We
negotiate
also
for
stay in one place
That's
for
the
a
first,
while,
and
we
that's
take advantage
you.
of the
You don't really need to negotiate for food, because the thing is, sugar cane is edible. You can just cut it down and gnaw on it, and it is full of sugar water.
Okay.
Yeah, but the
You
thing
can just eat it. It just doesn't last very long.
is, it lasts like days, not even. Sugar needs to be processed within hours of being harvested.
Yeah, but if you're just eating it as cane,
fair
it lasts for like a week.
Okay, fair enough.
Do we have an ice box on this ship?
Icebox? No.
There's no ice. Even if you have an ice box, there's no ice to go in
The
it.
closest
unless
thing to an icebox
There's
you
no
might have
mages.
is if you got a box, put stuff in it, and then just dredged it behind the ship in the cold water.
Oh God.
That's basically an icebox.
The bacteria-filled salt water. Jeez.
Well, if
it's
you put it in something watertight.
Fair enough. All right.
So, anyways, I need to talk to our latest crew member. Now, Clarissa, everything I told you is technically true, but I feel I wouldn't be doing you a good service if I wasn't completely honest
Can you
with you.
wait till we're on the move? Carry on,
Well, no,
carry on.
that
I want to see
depends.
this happen.
I'm not sure if he's breaking up with her or trying to invite her on the crew.
No. You know,
he
you
might be-
can
I think-
still
I-
come with us on the
I think
crew.
he might be talking about
we
an
can
open
still be
relationship.
together. However,
think it's an
you
open
might not be
relationship.
the only person.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not a monogamous.
Yeah, that's fine. Like, he can,
Yeah.
like that's just
Yeah.
what we do.
Actually, Penny, can you give me the crew list?
2, 1, or as you refer to it as the checklist.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. You're giving me the crew list.
You don't have
Beatrice
your,
is like-
you don't
like
have
the
your own
coolest.
list?
Yeah.
How do you not have your own list?
No, it's just Betty woke up one morning to find the crew's manifest. There's a random selection of like tick marks next to it.
Oh.
She doesn't know what
Yeah.
those were.
Yeah.
Up until now, she had no idea what those were.
No, with bang, no.
Yeah.
Bang,
So
no,
let's
with
see.
bang.
We have.
Kill, marry, kill,
Beatrice
kill,
said
bang.
like flips through to her.
Yeah, no, we did.
Yeah.
Beatrice
So,
like
anyways,
flips through to her,
Christopher
her was it like the duty roster sheet and puts him under like latrine duty for.
Latrine duty from Monday to be determined.
It's like, do not mess with the clipboard.
EOT, end of time.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and how many crew do we have?
A fair number.
Okay.
I don't know offhand how many people it takes to crew a ship.
I think we'd probably be better
So
off.
like 20 to 50?
You don't
Somewhere
he's
else.
gonna like,
Yeah.
try to kill you
So
while they
these 8
sleep.
people, these are the people I haven't slept with.
I'm also assuming it goes
Yeah.
like this
If
too.
you are thinking-
We're included
Yeah,
in
I'm
that.
hoping
Yeah.
So these 3 people are the people on board who know that they slept with me.
Oh Jesus! Oh Lord! Why are we? Oh my
No,
God!
no.
All right.
God. No, I
Sorry,
am
low
not.
blow.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Jeez! Holy moly, man!
And one of those not been slept with is a bird, so...
Why would you?
Yes, one of the things you mentioned as crew you haven't slept with is his parent. Yes.
But there's question marks around it.
All right, so let's get that still in net.
Okay, the other
I'm
thing
assuming
is,
we can
if
just get the net.
The other thing is,
The net needs to be fixed.
Yes, but like there's no problem us.
They
getting
have
it.
no interest in
Okay.
keeping
So
it.
I have a question. This is important. What does Clarissa respond?
Give me a charisma check. What are you looking to get her to do?
Be okay with an open relationship.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Right. That'll be 23 plus clever Casanova.
Sure.
All right. So
yeah, I think
27.
this is exactly.
It
what
makes
Clever Cop-
ridiculously hard DC, which is what you needed.
Congratulations. You have a fantasy girl.
You have avoided a slap.
I noticed that my nose is not broken. That is a good sign.
It's a good start. She doesn't immediately punch you.
All right. Now about the distillery.
I'm gonna wait before
She's willing to join your crew. There's a slight hat problem. If you bring slaves with you, they might murder her in her sleep.
Yeah, no, we can always try and reveal.
They're in fact, many of them are eyeing her with some anger.
Before we do anything, just make sure you don't flaunt the whole open relationship thing in front of her face. Just so you know, man.
Yeah, that's not gonna end well for you.
You want to get stabbed tonight? That's your prerogative. Just letting you know.
Like,
At
have
least
you
can
not
tell
seen
that,
those
like, you're like,
Japanese
oh my God,
cartoons?
someone's trying.
Well, technically no.
Have you not seen that one ending of that one Japanese dating? Which is hilariously out of nowhere.
An on-topic question.
What? Never.
What? Please. I'm sorry.
Please,
the bat.
carry on.
There's a topic?
The bat. If we kept it, what would be the upkeep on the bat?
It would cost you 1 lucre per week to keep it in bat food. Fortunately, bat food is cheap as hell.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
That's.
Do we really need a bat, guys?
It's not a question of whether or not we need a bat.
Do we want a bat?
Yes.
I don't want bat shit all over my boat.
Oh, okay. Okay. Here's the
I'll
thing, though.
teach it to put in the ocean.
That would be an animal handling check.
I think these two really.
Can the bat hunt fish?
The bat can hunt things. It mostly hunts birds.
The problem with the fish thing is just that there's like this layer of water, so it's mostly like to a bat that's pretty much.
There are
Oh,
bats
fair
that
enough.
fish.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
Fishing bats.
There are fishing bats. They catch fish the same way they catch moths. Like scooping it up with their behind.
Well, yeah,
And then
just-
flying off.
I thought that might be.
Can this bat be one of those bats?
Might be. Not sure it'll be.
Although,
anatomy of
if we
dire
have
bats.
if we have a dragnet with the bat, wouldn't it just grab crap out of our dragnet?
Yeah, possibly. Now the thing is, yeah, we can probably keep the. You will be cleaning up after us.
Yes,
There-
yes,
this
you
is
will.
not
Among your
negotiable.
other duties.
This is not negotiable.
Oh yeah, like as if I'm going to skip on the navigation.
And if he eats your bird, don't complain to us. Secondly, if
That is
That's,
true.
that's the
for
first thing
sometimes.
on the list.
That is true. Dire bats do eat birds.
That's the first thing
They've
on
also
the
been known
list.
to eat people.
Yeah, and probably this one has probably been fed on people.
Yeah.
Here's another thing.
Technically, it is
Yeah,
number 2 on the
we're
list.
gonna have to
Keep
be
it not
weapons
to
ready
eat crew.
24/7 on the
Yeah.
boat on the deck.
Top of the list is build trust.
okay, here's the.
Granted,
Build
we should
trust
always
by
be
feeding it crew
Okay,
weapon ready.
there is a
No,
positive and
you
negative effect
don't
of
need
that.
to always be weapon ready. Like
Wait,
I
at
mean,
least
weapon
we
ready as
have
in we're like
food for the
we're
bat
weapons out and
already,
we're like
guys.
we're
Yeah,
we're
true.
like
We can steal the food off
The whole time.
No, we don't need to steal the food. We can just take the bodies and feed the bat to.
Okay, here's what we
Okay,
do.
but-
See, that does carry the same rotting problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
of the other
Okay, but
suggestions.
the other thing is, there's a plus and a minus to having the bat on the ship, though. Plus, well, yeah, like I said, we're always gonna have a bat on hand to scare away our enemies. Side note, we're not gonna be
It is
easy to
A,
hide
scary.
because
B, you can fly around on it.
yeah. But the other
C,
thing
if
is,
we're
we
hungry.
can and scouting is good. And no,
Alright.
if we keep the bat
Fair
ready,
enough.
for that.
Kopesh are now
But the
our
other thing
scouts.
is,
Yep.
we're gonna have a really hard time disguising the ship because, like, oh yeah, it's the ship with,
with the bat. Yeah.
Although if we do,
Do we want to be a well-known smuggling ship? Not really, because if you're a well-known smuggler, you're not a
Although,
good
if we
smuggler.
do build some kind of enclosure for it, or we can keep it below decks when necessary, we can hide the ship when we need to.
All right, I think you and I should try and get the still. That's the first thing we should
Yeah,
do.
for the distillery and getting.
Yeah, so we'll get the still. All right, that's the first thing we'll take care of. So, do we both get to like try and do this?
The still is currently broken due to fire damage. It's not a difficult check to convince them to let you have it. You guys have massive bonuses. I don't think I'd even make you roll. It's mostly a question if you can get it working.
Okay, so that would be his job.
Sangomas is capable.
Okay, so we'll just be like, it's broken. We freed you. You shouldn't be drinking on the job when you're trying to get started.
It's a piece of junk. Let's take it off your hands. You know, you can use the space.
We're a garbage disposal service, as in we dispose of the slaver garbage.
I can help with fixing things.
So yeah, all right. So now we just have to fix both the net and the still. Hopefully you can fix them.
Yeah, that's probably going to take some time. During that time, I could also offer some basic bow and arrow training.
There's also a second bat. Can we cook that
To
one?
the now farmers.
Sure. Yeah. It's basically the idea is that we
So
don't
all
really have
four?
any form of good defense on our own ship.
Do we want a
So
bat?
I thought, maybe
You
we
don't
can
want
get
a
all
bat.
through to be able to
I don't
shoot
really want
arrows
a bat.
at the exact same time.
I don't want to be
Puzzle
known. I don't want to be known.
I don't think we need a bat.
We don't
Okay.
need a bat, but I
So
think it'll be cool.
I don't want a bat. Hands up for no bat. I'm voting no bat.
It's gonna be
Hands
two
up, okay.
neutral, 2-1-1,
Okay,
and
that's
2-1-1.
Who's for the bat?
I think
one?
it'd be interesting.
Nope.
I'm
Who is
not gonna
neutral?
lie, I think it would be an interesting.
It'd be interesting, however, how practical.
Okay,
We
here's
can always
practical.
get to Brighton and then let it rain terror and get killed, okay?
I don't want to be known.
It's just because you don't want your
We're not
main-
known right now, so
Yeah,
that
if we
doesn't
sail
matter.
into Brighton with a goddamn bat and let it loose, they're gonna be like, oh, it's those fuckers.
Okay, here's the thing.
That's what's gonna happen.
I do think whether or not we keep the bat is
Don't
going to be
worry
determined
about it so much.
on whether or not we can
very
establish
worried
some
about
way
it.
to keep it below decks when necessary. So if we can turn a part of the hold into like a bat enclosure,
Can we
Bat
train it to live in the
cave.
hold?
We're making a bat cave.
Okay, why don't we have you make that check to see if you can teach it to live in a hole?
While we're fixing stuff, you have to make
It
it.
would not be difficult to train a bat to live inside a hole because they like caves.
and actually
To a bat, that's a wooden cave.
and the thing is, the
Fair
way
enough.
ship
It's
holds
more
work.
the more training aspect is keeping it from just leaving as soon as you
How about
island.
how about training it so when we whistle, it goes in?
Okay.
Yeah, that's definitely a good thing. You should make it train it so it comes to
And
me.
then
when
we
we
do
haul it.
because the
something
way
else.
I think
ship
we need to
holds
modify
someone
the ship
down.
a bit.
Yeah.
So that there's a hatch at the back that opens and closes, and the into the hole.
The way a ship hold works, there's a great big hole in the
In the
middle
top-
of the
yeah.
deck.
Oh, okay.
And you've put so we can train to fly in and out. If we turn part of it into an area where it's deep, we can turn like the far wall, into a hidden
Yeah.
storage area too.
Okay.
So this could
Okay,
work to our
fine.
advantage.
And basically every time we
Fine.
get a check,
I like
we just
guard
teach
bat.
it to fly out. It's
All right.
not here.
I'm okay with this. I'll let it pass. However, okay, but then now, so I guess what we're gonna do is we're gonna take apart the rest of the warehouse, turn the ex-slave house into the new warehouse with the parts that we
To
get
a
from
new
the
temporary warehouse.
yeah
We're eating
with the
nothing
parts
but
we get
sugar
from the
cane.
warehouse.
We have a whole shipment of lumber.
We also have lumber that we gave them, so we can use that, and then we'll build that stuff, and also fix the still and the dragnet.
Yep, that can be done.
So that's what we're doing then.
Well, we gotta check if we can.
No, we got the still, because
Yeah, no, we need to check if we can fix it.
yes, but like that's what we're gonna be doing for like a couple weeks, I guess,
Or like a week.
or a week, however long it would take.
Take a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So the other thing there's still to decide is a bunch of the slaves want to go home. A
Yep.
few of them are willing to work here. Not enough of them are willing to work here to really have the place work properly.
Well,
So you could either convince the ones who want to stay to come with you and take all of them back to Brighton, or you could convince some of the ones who want to leave to stay here.
We're
for a
gonna
season.
convince some of the one who want to leave to stay, and we'll tell them that we're gonna send a new ship from Brighton.
I don't want to promise them anything.
yeah, because what if
No,
we can't
we're
convince
gonna because we're gonna set up the new like the ones we bring back. We're gonna bring back the best sailors that they got. That's just
So
So we are coming back, or
we're not coming back. We're sending back. I feel
So we
feel
have
like
to commission a ship.
Yeah. You'd have
Yeah.
to commission a ship and a crew to do that.
Which
It would
we
take
can't
a
afford.
shitload of money.
But the thing is, if we can get them to get
No,
that other ship
basically, if
operational, teach them enough to be
Could
able
we
to sail that
convince
ship back.
an investor
Yeah.
to?
If they can make their own money, they
To
can
come back
commission
and
their
turn
own
them back
ship.
into slaves.
Come back, take over the farm, and run the farm with the slavers again.
And possibly the shady guy who we're selling sugar to. Hey, how would you like a whole island?
come with slaves.
I'm just you and an island, sir.
Here's the thing: he'd probably go there and turn everybody back to slaves.
No,
Quite
I just-
possibly.
Yeah.
No,
I just
very
convinced-
possibly.
You don't know
I
Horus
would
very
just
well.
convince them to stay on
Shady.
the island
Yes,
and
he is.
Yeah. Okay, I'd say yeah. Train some of them up so they actually use that ship, so that once they're
All right.
once they know what they're doing, they can
dropping
get
some of
themselves
our
back.
crew.
All right,
Our
yeah,
ableness.
we'll do that in the same span of time as well. Then.
Okay.
All right.
I will say for you're doing the option of crewing the other ship with slaves and some of your guys.
Yeah.
Okay, I will say you can either take a 2-point hit to your ableness
2 points
and
brings us down
keep
to
Gerard
1.
with your crew, with you guys, or you can send Gerard with them and only take a 1-point hit. I will say Gerard will do something when he joins your crew.
Yeah, I will.
Because Gerard, when he was in the fight, he is very handy with a blade, actually.
I would rather take Gerard because he also has knowledge of
Right.
patrol patterns.
Named NPC.
I will say what he does if he joins your crew is he adds a dot to your boarding skill.
Yes.
Okay.
Keep it.
He can teach your crew how to
And
fight
that's
with
more
a
expensive than getting our ableness back up. Of course, if we hit a storm, our ableness
However,
could
if
hit
something
0.
causes your ableness to hit 0,
Yes, exactly. That's what I just said.
such as, say,
Yeah.
being attacked by Sahagwin would like,
Well,
We'll be okay.
I'm
the
willing
thing
to take
is,
that
we're
risk.
not going to go through the Sahagwan Alley.
No.
So
We're not.
ableness, paying for it.
Yeah.
Buying new
Repairing
crew.
Buying crew who are knowledgeable.
Yeah.
And required.
Currently, you can't do that here because there aren't crew that are knowledgeable.
Yeah.
All right. So
Things you can do here, you can buy ship condition.
Wait, there's also ships coming in and out still, aren't there?
Occasionally, yeah, here and there.
we can always try and see if we can offload some of the freed people onto those ships as they're coming through. Hey, where are you going? Oh, these people need to get there. Can
Wait,
they
so
go with you?
are we getting so we're just getting everyone off the island?
Worth noting, important thing to note though, anyone coming by this island is expecting an island run by slavers.
Yeah.
They might
Probably
just
here for
leave when they notice that's not what's going on.
Yeah.
Or
Also,
enslave the people we give
Fair
The
enough.
people you just freed might not want to interact with
Fair
them or trust them to safely
Fair
transport them
Fair
anywhere.
enough.
the only reason they kind of trust us is because we happen to kill all the slavers.
In fact, we could use that same argument to convince the 12-year-old to stay to get on that other boat.
Yeah. So we're gonna take a hit to our ableness.
Yes.
Keep.
That brings our ableness down to 1, though. 1.
I mean,
Which can go down for any number of reasons.
I think it might be best to just take a hit of 1 instead of 2, so we have 2 able.
Then we don't
The
get
other
an
option
indemnity.
is to try and convince some of the freed people to stay and work the farm first.
That might be the best option
Yeah.
to
All
us.
right.
What I
And then
want.
we can still teach them how to use the boat. So once they're more capable, ready to go,
Yeah.
then they can take that other boat
well,
out
okay,
themselves.
well, yeah, I do want to try and convince some of them to stay because I'm like, I really do want to send in. I want to help try and get a new ship to come back to help you guys out.
But we
Possibly a
can't.
guard ship,
No.
like
We can't promise that.
Brighton.
Commissioning a ship to come out here would cost a lot. Simply telling people that, hey, that island that formerly had a slave plantation
Yeah,
for
no,
ship
I
on
would
it
tell
is
Brighton.
now run by a free group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you could probably might
I
be
would-
able to convince.
I would tell the
You can
Brighton,
probably
like,
convince
I
people
would,
to try
for
and trade
example-
with them and stuff.
yeah.
If you could prove that that occurred,
Yeah.
and this was in the hands of
Bring
other
back
people,
As in
Gerard
we
with
have,
us.
yeah.
it would mean Brighton would probably lift its trade embargo.
Yes.
And all
Yeah.
we need is 1 or 2 good charisma checks.
So
Bring-
yeah, I
And-
think if we bring
Or
Gerard.
someone who
Gerard.
was formerly
so
sold as
okay,
slaves.
so we're gonna convince them, bring Gerard, get him to convince people in Brighton, hey, it's all good, and then it'll be fine.
No, but
It
hopefully.
would take some effort to get Gerard to do that because he does currently think Brighton is full of assholes.
But the thing is, we can tell. We
You
can also
will
say
never
we're
have to deal
smuggling
with
in
them
sugar.
again.
We're smuggling in sugar
It's
too.
a
We're also
key
sticking
point.
it to them first.
This is true.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, we gotta stick it to them before
Okay.
we give them the
So
news.
let's convince the people who want to leave to stay.
You don't have to convince all of them. In fact, it's impossible to do so.
Yeah, no,
But you
convince
can
some.
convince enough of them that the farm can operate.
All right. So we'll tell them we'll tell them our plan of we're gonna go to Brighton, tell the government that you guys are now free, send a new ship back to kind of get things back going again, and you can
Inform the
probably
government they're free so that they will hopefully lift the embargo,
Yes.
and then you might
Then you'll
get
have
trade
traffic.
ships coming back.
Yes.
and forth.
And then you could
also
probably
add
leave them.
some basic combat training into that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Take
let's
some time to repair some stuffs anyway.
Yeah.
let's
You are
nix
gonna be
the
spending
whole
your time training
sending
the
our own
bats.
sailors
Yeah,
to train
train
them how to
bats
use the
and
ship,
train people how to shoot
and we'll just
bow and
leave the ship there.
Training the bat.
If
Someone
they
else
want to
can teach
use
them how
it,
to
it's
use
their
bow.
own choice.
Yeah, no one
All right,
else here that's
so
not qualified.
I guess we're making charisma checks.
You want the bat?
Someone can make me a charisma check.
Go ahead and do it.
All
Oh,
right.
is
I
that
will
off?
give you
Teaching
a
the
bonus
We
for
were just
having
poking at you and
other people talk to you.
Convince them through
so
song.
there's more than one person, the bat responds well too.
If you sing a song about running a farm that is not Old MacDonald had a farm, because I'm going to give you a
No,
penalty
no,
if it's Old
one of
MacDonald
those
had a farm.
cornfield songs.
Yeah, because that's a sign of freedom and goodness.
Sing Poe Lazarus.
Everyone, stay here and it will be a whole new island. I give you Feel Good Incorporated. Bling, 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 feel good, bling, 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 feel good.
I'm not giving you a bonus. That song.
All right.
I thought you were going to do a remix of Whole New
I was
World.
thinking swing low.
All right.
Sweet cherry.
I'm just gonna roll.
She's a bass.
That is an even 10, so 17.
17?
Uh,
They don't seem like they
well,
want
okay, here's the
to.
thing, but I can also be talking to some of them offhand and be mentioning that logistically, like, we're not going to be able to do it. There's not. We're probably we'll sink the ship going across. So try and logic some of them into staying.
You guys want to die?
I assumed you guys were also our. I made the
Okay.
DC,
Oh,
DC only 20.
okay. All right. Never mind.
He's still a bit short.
Let's try it.
Yeah, there you go.
That's
a good roll.
I think you needed a 1. Assuming the bonus that we got was 2.
There wasn't a bonus. It dropped the DC from
I see.
25 to 20.
Okay.
Nice.
Because convincing slaves, hey, this thing you've been doing and breaking your backs on every day, you should keep doing it voluntarily. That's very hard sell.
I mean,
only
do it enough to
get
live.
a luck point for convincing.
I would say yes, because there was actually definite risk in attempting to do that.
All right. So you should probably
Only
be
doing enough to
involved in
live.
helping
There is
build
yes,
the
lose half your
the
distillery
yeah,
as well.
and the whole
You have to
the-
shit.
yeah.
Out of you.
Yeah. Probably also the bat enclosure. If we want to
Oh, I
have a
forgot
secret
to-
compartment in the back,
broken nose.
you're the best
That would be
carpenter.
like-
No, I didn't say a
have to
broken
yet.
nose. I said
Just
have
help
the
them fly
shit
away.
kicked out of you.
Okay.
Maybe
Like
some
on the
curbs
ground
broken.
being
wanna be able to
stomped
have, like,
off.
We can do that later, right? I don't know.
well, we're smuggling stuff
Keep in
now.
mind, her previous job was beating people up for a living.
Okay, so we've got them convinced. So now we need you to try and fix the still and the dragnet.
I could do the dragnet and secret compartment.
Get the bats here
Yeah,
in the
she's
first
between
place.
them. Oh, you're a merchant family too.
Yeah.
You're probably familiar with secret compartments.
Sure, you can do
A
that.
little bit. I
And
can
she's
apply
a-
all except one bonus.
And she's the rigging master, right? So you're
Yeah.
gonna have some experience with ropes. So between the two of you working together in the hole,
He
you
got,
doing the
you're on the
net.
still
Yeah, you would be
yourself.
really good with the dragnet, considering.
And you're training them to use boats.
Right.
And Beatrice is taking aside whoever is like going to be like the new like head of the plantation and basically trying to like teach them how to run. Okay, here's how you keep books.
You find a couple of the slaves who can read and write,
Exactly.
I'm gonna talk to.
and of those, you find
Gregory?
the ones that the other people like the most.
Is it Gregory?
St.
Which one?
Beatrice
Grant?
schools for free
Grant.
slaves.
Oh, no.
The slave leader.
Gerard.
Gerard, thank you. I want to talk to Gerard. Give him our game plan.
I don't think he's shouldn't be staying here. He's coming with us.
I know he's coming with. I'm telling him our game plan about Brighton. We're gonna go in, sneak the sugar through, take them for all they're worth, and then tell them that the sugar plantation's up. And be like, oh, bye, and then sail.
It sounds to me like what you're mostly going to do is potentially piss off whoever you're selling sugar to.
Yeah.
That's actually
mean,
he's probably got
if-
connections.
If you just spring that on him, he might be pissed off. Are you planning on telling the guy you're selling to any of this?
No, he's gonna find out sometime later.
Yeah, he's going to find out and then probably slit your throat.
Yeah, I was gonna say actually he's the
When he
judging by
finds
the
out
way
you
he
sold
was
him a
in-
shipment of something worthless.
It's not
Well, it's not worthless. 'cause
You
it's-
collapsed a moldy ceiling on it. It is worthless.
Is it worthless?
They don't know that.
You're not sure.
Well, either way, there's not going to be some sugar.
You
for
did
some
fill a
time.
building with rot that it was stored in, and then collapse rot boards on it.
No, but
It
seriously,
might be
there's
contaminated.
there's still not
We
going
have
to be
shifters.
a shipment,
Look,
any
it's very
shipments of
simple.
sugar
We
coming
start
in
in
anytime
Brighton
soon.
and then we book it.
You'd have to.
Okay, how is he gonna catch us?
You're not sure.
There are plenty of ways that he can
The
catch
other
us.
thing is,
Also,
if he
it depends
decides,
how long you're planning on staying in
but the thing
Brighton.
is, if he decides he doesn't want it, then we just say, hey, we freed Canewrack Island. Here's all the sugar that we brought back from it, so it's now illegal after they've released the trade embargo.
Yeah, we're like we don't care too much about the price, so that's fine. We'll leave that.
Yeah, we do.
We do. We want to get.
We
swapped
care.
everything
I understand.
for sugar.
I understand.
I hate to bring up the entire purpose of this trip.
No, I understand. No, I understand. We care, but like,
Oh, between.
we don't care too much about the significant markup of it being illegal. Like that's what I'm talking about. Like,
If it
Between
gets
the
us
three
a
of us
higher
are
price
relatively
than we do.
confident in our ability to get a decent
Yes.
price. I should do
Yes.
the fourth. She's also brown.
yes. So
I'm
it'll be fine.
pretty confident in
It'll
our
be
ability.
fine. We don't have to worry about that right now.
Yeah, we'll worry about that when we get to Brighton.
Yes.
We'll
So
burn that bridge when we come.
Pretty much.
It's
Yeah.
my favorite expression.
So you guys should make your checks on fixing the still and dragnet.
One other thing to keep in mind, this island previously had 20 slavers and 40 slaves. There have been significant deaths. There is a plethora of machetes kicking around that no one's using. You can arm your crew with them.
Yes, we will do that.
Yes.
No cost to that.
Yeah.
Whips aren't that useful, but you could.
No, we teach them how to Indiana Jones.
One other thing is, these slavers also had about a dozen bows amongst them. You could take these for your crew, or you could leave them for the slaves to use.
We'll take 2
Yeah, for the goblin.
for the crow's nest.
Shank and Kopesh have already looted a bow.
Okay.
They have no interest in returning that.
Fair enough. I'm just talking about people in the crow's nest to be like, shh.
Well, you can teach them how to make bows. I mean, they probably use the sugar canes.
That would not make it
Sugar cane is
particularly
not
effective
suited
bow.
for making bows out of
It's
it. There isn't
really,
really any proper
If it was bamboo.
wood on this island.
Don't have a bamboo farm. Don't do it.
Well, there's a nearby island and trees.
Some.
I say we just leave the bows to
Yeah.
the ex-slaves, start machetes,
Sure.
and then start fixing some stuff.
Sure. Alright. Yeah, so you guys need to make your checks.
I'm gonna work on the distillery.
Alright. That would be probably a dex check. Or an intelligence check, either one.
I'll say it's Dex. Does 13 work?
No.
Gonna need that.
What kind of DC is it?
Find out.
Damn it.
Those 13.
23 AC?
There you go. DC was 20.
I said AC. I punch it and it
23
works.
AC.
This is like speeding school.
Punch it back into shape.
It starts working.
Well, are you two going to work together for the secret compartment? Or.
You could.
But
I
maybe
have
the
significant background
True.
things for that.
But the net as well. So.
Yeah. We can do the net.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do the net together.
Basically, what I thought, I figured I would be like doing a lot of the training, like some of it here, and then we have a whole bunch of weeks. Like we used to also train Clarence along the way as well.
But he's not even getting on the ship till we know that we can get him to stay on
Do I
the
know
ship.
who's going to be the new leaders
Okay. And raise that suit.
Of who?
of the
Of the
farmers?
farm? You were basically
better than
picking
me.
someone to do that.
Okay, so whoever we pick, I'm teaching him also battle tactics.
Yes.
Like-
This is basically, as everyone else is getting the ship ready, we're just sitting there
I'm gonna essentially turn a section of the Slavers' Lodge into a war room with maps of the island, and they're like, all right, if an attack comes like this, you got to do this.
All right. Here's how we fucked this.
Yeah.
You'll want to plug that hole.
Yeah. Don't let that happen. Burn all the sugarcane.
She got a total of 20 on her roll to fix the net.
All right. Yep. You got to fix net.
Yeah.
Yes.
and now secret compartment.
So are we now a fishing ship? Is that what we are?
Well, we are
We are
able to fish for
self-sufficient
ourselves.
trading
Yeah.
ship.
We're a bunch of tradesmen who also fish.
We're a legitimate trading ship.
Yeah. We are a legitimate business. Legitimate in quotations. Also spelled with two
Hey,
eyes.
according to our books, we are perfectly legit.
Yes, but our legit is
thank
spelled
you. I'm working on
L-I-G-I-T.
Yeah.
We are legit.
Okay. So what the still and the dredge net do Both of them have an upkeep of 1 because the still is you have to burn fuel to make it run. It's not like a solar still. And the dredge net needs to be fixed, maintained, and worked on to keep it working. Both of them cost 1 lucre a week to keep them working. They cause you to only lose 1 dot of food and water every 2 weeks.
So yeah.
So they are
Very good
net
trade-off.
saving money.
Yeah,
Very good
that
trade-off.
works. That works for us.
So we just solved our food issue.
Mostly, yes. Yeah.
But we also
We
have the problem.
we don't necessarily need more food now.
With both of them working, yeah.
Okay.
And I'm gonna.
I will say, in the event of rounding, it rounds.
Well, he's in legit.
So, for example, if you're traveling somewhere for 3 weeks,
your-
that counts as 2.
But he also doesn't have a token anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like we
get
spend also
bonus
some of the food for that 2-week period, and then in the last week we just fish.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, I'm gonna roll to make a.
Secret smuggling compartment behind
And is
behind
there-
the bat cave.
and is
Making a
there-
compartment will require lumber. You could either take lumber from the
We still have lumber.
you don't. You have lumber that you dropped off in order to rebuild a warehouse. If you don't want to leave the farmers with materials to rebuild said warehouse, which is required for the place to operate properly,
Can we take? Can we?
you could
about the
also
cage?
opt to what?
The bat cage.
That's
what we're
part of it.
working
That's
right
part
now.
of it.
Yeah.
What?
No, the bat
The bat cage
bat
is
storage
the secret
area.
compartment.
The bat storage
The
area.
bat tower? Yeah.
No, no.
You could try and dismantle that if you don't want to leave the slaves with bats.
Yeah, but
No.
I leave them with that.
What we're doing is we're
The
converting
tower where they were keeping bats doesn't have cages in it. It has posts that they hang on.
we're converting their old house to the new warehouse for temporary purposes. And when the new ship comes, hopefully they can rebuild everything.
So you are going to take their tower away for the time being?
Not the tower. Either some of the wood from the warehouse that's not rotted.
It's all rotten. Like if you use that stuff, like you filled it with magical rot.
Yeah.
The rot's still
God,
there.
yeah,
It's still
yeah.
growing.
Oh, okay.
It's just not growing at
And but-
inhumanly insane pace.
Yeah, so that building is
still
shot.
there.
That building's shot for them.
Yeah, it needs to be replaced.
Presumably, there's still
We'll
the
take
lumber.
some of the
because-
lumber.
It's not good to use.
No, like lumber.
No,
What about
no,
the
no,
lumber
nearby
yeah.
island? Right, there's trees there, right?
If you want to
But we
sail
don't
out
wanna
to that island
process
and
it.
try and roll a survival check to dig up some lumber, you can try and do that.
Or we could just take some of the
'Cause,
copious amounts of lumber
Another
we
thing you
brought
could
to the
do
island.
is use parts that already exist on your ship, knock a point off your ship condition, and just use that.
Address a condition of 5.
Yeah, our ship condition is great.
Well, can we first see if we can take
Yeah,
it
it's
back?
great right up until someone shoots you with a cannon.
Yeah.
At
Can
which
we?
point they make an artillery check, and the width of the roll is how many points of ship condition you lose.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I
Before
should point
we.
out, the way weaponry works is they provide an advantage. The way advantages work is before you roll, like your machetes, the way they work is they're a +1 advantage on boarding checks. Advantages rate anywhere from 1 to 3. 3 is as high as they ever go. Cannons are 3.
Okay. Now here's the thing.
The way they work, though, is before you make the roll, you decide if you want to add a die for the point of it, or don't add a die, but when you roll, if you get any sets, increase the width by the advantage number. So if someone with a cannon is decent with it, they can opt to just add +3 to the width of the roll and just do 5 damage in a shot.
Oh god.
Okay. Now here's the thing. Here's the thing. Before we
Cannons
do
are
anything.
scary.
Before we do anything as drastic as knocking points off our ship condition,
We're gonna talk
let's
to them.
try and get some of the lumber we brought back.
talk
Like,
to them, like,
presumably, just to make a false wall and something to keep the bats separate from our supplies,
So
shouldn't take
Yeah.
a huge amount of lumber.
they can probably fix up the slave house
Perhaps a perch underneath the
with not too
crow's
much.
Wait.
With the lumber you want to use for it, they could fix the slave house well enough to work as a temporary warehouse,
Okay.
but they wouldn't be able to fix
We
the full
don't.
warehouse.
We don't need. Okay.
Yeah.
I get it. They still need the bat tower, but what about the other watch
They
towers?
don't
Yeah.
need a bat tower.
Oh no, but they don't need the other watch towers.
The watchtowers are part of the other buildings.
No, we'll
Also, they kind of do.
we'll
Yeah,
take
I was thinking that's
we'll take enough lumber to make what we can, and
Especially when those other people who previously traded with them come by and go, "Hey, those aren't the same people. We should set them on fire and take all their stuff."
Yeah.
then they'll also no, it's fine because they'll rebuild the slave house into a new warehouse. It's fine
Because
because
they're not going to be able to use the building that they've got anyway, and the other building's smaller, so.
What I'm basically saying is there's a trade-off here.
yeah.
If you take enough lumber to make your hold, they're not going to be able to rebuild their warehouse properly. They'll just be able to use the old bunkhouse, which isn't as big.
We'll just.
That's
let's
I think
knock
that's
it off
fine.
our own ship.
I think
And then
that's
you would
fine.
basically be hoping that later
Or
they
the
get
other
trade
thing.
with Brighton that allows them to
Yes.
get more lumber to
That
fix
is
it.
an
Yes,
acceptable
I think
trade-off.
that's fine.
Because they're not going to be able to
That
produce
would
as much
require a
right now.
charisma check. Yeah.
They're not going to be able to produce as much at the beginning anyway. They've
don't
got a
have
smaller
manpower to
number.
produce.
Yeah, they've got a smaller number, and they're not going to be working the same kind of hours they did when they didn't have a choice.
but they'll give a shit.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But okay, go charisma
This is
people.
true. Yep.
Go
Someone can give me a
charisma check.
charisma check.
Well, what about the option about going to the island? Is that off the table?
Then sit there and
If we
process
don't
the
need
lumber.
It requires a survival check.
Let's see the
But
charisma
other
check
than
first. It's just the timeline of things. Let's just do it.
Crits.
I crit.
All right.
He gets
You
the
can
lumber.
certainly convince them
We're
to let you
fine.
have lumber. Yep.
Don't need to worry about it. That's
Okay.
why I said roll first.
Exactly.
Okay, we're good. So we got. I think we've got everything we want then.
Fix the dredge. That's done. Build the
I
backhouse.
gotta, I
That's
gotta roll
done.
to fix it.
Bring Gerard. We've already convinced him to come with us,
Yep.
right? Okay.
How well do we make
Convince
it?
people to
We're
say that's
halfway
done.
through our session now.
Let's see how
That's
that.
about right for what I had planned for this session. I was
Okay.
expecting this to take a long time.
How is the bat training coming along?
Nice.
Find out.
By the way, I don't think that Eduardo should be solely training the bat because we need the bat to respond well to more than one person.
Shank and Kopash.
Shane
Go.
Kopesh, and I would say probably also Mavis.
She'll be in the
What's her
she'll be in the
name?
crow's nest no matter what.
Sorry.
What about a certain
Maybe I
kind of
can
whistle?
comment with my singing music.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a whistle.
What I'm basically going to do is make a roll and tell me what you're trying to train the bat to do
Is that before or after I roll?
before you roll.
Okay.
Fly into the hold on a whistle.
Right. So,
A pro tip: the first thing you might want to teach it to do is not
Not
attack
eel.
people.
yeah, that was
It's
the
like
first thing. Right.
do this.
Teach it
put
not to
person
attack
down.
people, right?
No, teach it not to attack us. It can still attack people.
No.
No, we don't.
Teach
Want
it
to
not to
attack-
attack people.
Teach
Teach
it-
it to attack who we
On
say
command,
yeah.
okay.
You know, like a sick
One thing at
command.
a time. Why don't we work
Yeah,
on that
I think
later?
those are two different orders.
But yeah, let's start with the
They're
not.
not because the bat's already sort of trained to attack people on command.
Okay.
You're basically just changing who it considers a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the basic priority. Second priority is the basic commands like come here, you know, go in there, and that sort of thing.
But so first is friendly bat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Should I start with that one? Or?
Yeah, because it kind of hinges whether the rest of them are worth trying.
Yeah.
Because if you can't make it like you,
You also have your luck point to help you with this one. So
Well, we also do have 3 other bats to try.
We can always eat this one.
Barbecue.
can we smoke
That's
it?
a quest for Camelot.
20 work?
20? Yeah, you can get the bat to like you.
Both of them and Shake and Kopesh,
Oh,
or is it
do I?
specifically
You can
Eduardo?
get it to like you and your crew.
Okay. Cool.
Exactly.
All right, now I'm going to train the bat. When I play a certain round of notes,
Oh god.
it goes into the ship and into its perch. Like
Why,
it's a
why
recall
not?
command.
Why not a whistle?
Yeah.
A whistle that we
not
can all
only
do.
one person can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can then train it to respond to that as well,
Yeah.
but start with the whistle.
Okay.
Whistle is probably a good idea. So you got another roll?
Yeah, so it takes you about a week to train the bat to do that.
Wildlife guy. Let him do it.
But I'm a rock star.
That would not apply. That would be like a detriment. Bats don't like loud noises.
Let's see. Does 19 work?
Nope.
Okay.
Add
let's
your-
spend this.
Add the D6.
Yeah.
Bat training is DC's 20.
Okay, that's at 6 of the D6.
Wow. Both of you guys had amazing rolls with your D6s.
And thank you for jinxing the table.
Now this entire half is just going to die.
I said both. It's just I'm pointing out a fact.
It responds to like basic commands and likes me. Is that what
It's
we're-
trained to hide on command and do basic things like come towards you or stop biting.
Yeah.
Is it wait, did we get the whistle to go into its cage thing?
That's what he just
Okay,
did.
okay, okay.
Remember,
okay.
it's
Just wanna
not
make sure.
a
Can I
dog.
build a
It's not
cage?
that intelligent.
It is. It's not exactly trained to go in its cage. It's trained to hide when you whistle.
Okay.
It will hide wherever it can.
That's actually better.
That's better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But will it follow basic like if we give it like
It can understand basic things like come here, eat this, don't eat this.
Stop pooping on that.
You will never learn that.
Okay.
I'm really tempted to make don't
we-
poop on that a separate roll.
we litter box train. Litter box being the ocean.
I'm gonna make you roll to see if you can turn it to poop in the
We
sea.
can burn the poop though for the distillery.
That's it. Yeah. No. No. Yeah. No. Not in the sea. In a giant bucket that we build that we have.
It's
I don't know how flammable bat poop is.
You can ferment it into fertilizer.
It's good fuel.
I'm
It
going.
has tons of ethane.
Fuel properties of
It
fat.
does.
What if we turned it into diesel?
Okay, that's
See, I think you're confusing it with cow poop, which has lots of methane in it because they eat a lot of plants.
no. There's lots of.
I don't know. I do know there is a use for back. They call it back guano.
Yeah,
Cosmetics.
it's fertilizer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, is it?
It's cosmetics, actually. Is what it's mostly used
Either
for.
way, if we have bats shitting on the deck, it'll be apparent to people that something lives here that is shitting
But-
on the deck that isn't a person.
It also may create a slipping hazard in the event of combat.
We do not want it.
Is it a wet pooper?
You know what? Tell it to poop in the sea. You guys had it right.
Teach it. Please don't crit fail.
Yeah, no,
Should have
it's
said that
apparently,
because now I watch.
Please
I just,
crit
No.
fail.
I kind of want you to crit fail.
no.
I wanted to wind up being trained only to poop on your bed.
It's not only in his bed. I'm fine with that. I'm in the captain's quarters.
Yes!
Did he?
He
Seriously?
got a 4.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Alright, that's 14 total.
Okay.
14,
Can
eh?
Can I?
Trained to habitually poop in your bed it is.
How's that for karma?
Actually,
There you go.
I think he's received enough karmic balance to balance out the note.
Okay.
Yeah,
So are we
so-
done with the
But now
bats? We got shit to do.
Okay.
That's not that shit.
And we can always work on getting it to stop pooping on your bed later.
There.
Yeah.
Not
Hopefully it won't.
housebroken at all.
I'm gonna keep my captain's quarters
Uh,
locked
Okay, by the way,
24/7,
by
How
the
long
way,
until I
sorry.
can try
just
that
so you
again?
guys know.
About a month.
Alright.
Yeah. I'm gonna say though that Beatrice will be keeping an incredibly close eye on the stores, and will also be, if necessary, putting any kind of like anti-bat, like bat repellent.
Is there a way for us to make the hidden wall sound more solid when you knock on it?
That's
If
what
it's-
I haven't rolled on that, so sure.
If you get a DC 25, it's real hard to find.
That's one of the planned features. This is just the beta.
I'm just hoping.
I'd like to have
I
the
roll
open
good.
trial of our hatch.
So
got
if
your
you make a
thing.
15, you get a hatch that defeats any casual person wandering around. If you get a 20, it defeats an active search by someone who's not quickly trained. Get a 25, it defeats active searches by someone who's trained to look for them.
Okay, so I'm gonna apply like 3 out of 4 backgrounds.
You can only apply one at
But
most.
don't worry, even if you succeed on the roll, you could spend to add a d6.
Yeah.
Okay, so
What kind of roll is this?
It would be an intelligence check, I think. Either intelligence or wisdom here.
The thief background works. That gives you 5
Yeah.
to roll.
Okay, wait.
Who has the most
Do you have? She has no backgrounds that'll help.
what?
Maybe we'll. No, I'm talking
I'm
about.
a thief.
Talking about.
Oh,
He's
Beatrice.
talking about
Maybe we'll.
because Amber has an intelligence score. Is
Yeah.
what he's suggesting.
Yeah. Well educated. Theoretically, she could have a lot of theoretical knowledge about how.
You have wisdom and a carpentry background.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's your bonus using
Yeah.
both of
Check the
those?
total bonuses between the two of you, please.
Career sailor.
My
apply.
bonus to wisdom is 3, but my background in repairing things is 3.
Now, is there a
So
way
5.
that we could assist,
What
like
do you?
with Beatrice being well
With
educated?
my level, it'd be an 8.
I don't think he was
So
including his
it's
level.
it's the same. It's 5.
We add our level?
Yeah.
We don't?
To checks, yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
yeah, it's 8.
But if
Either
it-
you can do it. Whatever.
But if
believe.
can those people who aren't rolling help in any way? Like with Beatrice being well educated, she probably has a lot of theoretical knowledge about how this kind of stuff would work. Like
So
she
I
could definitely
What
apply
if it's
for
like I'm trying to run this storage
I
through
would
her,
say-
like test.
What you could do is have one of you roll the skill and apply half of someone else's background to it.
Okay. So which of you has the best basic?
I think a +5 is fine. Like
5 or 8.
'Cause she's
+5
also got-
excluding level. +8 to your roll is perfectly fine. Go ahead and make your
We'll
check.
just add the
I'm not concerned.
half of my background to help this.
Whoever still has a luck point
would
should
be
do
one.
it though.
It's me.
So yeah, go ahead.
What are your backgrounds right now?
Mine is thief, 5, raised at sea, 4, and merchant.
Yeah, if you apply half of her background to your roll, what is your intelligence?
my intelligence plus level is 6, and my background for well educated is 5.
That
So
wouldn't apply.
well educated
What
is
is
okay.
your wisdom?
My wisdom is the same. Their modifier of 3 with level is 5.
So I'm just trying to figure out which is for
Okay.
Yeah,
What would be half of your background?
Yeah.
2?
2.
It's the same thing. You can go ahead and do it.
They
You
end
have-
up being basically the same.
You have a luck point. Go ahead and do it. I believe in you.
Go, go.
I believe.
6 on the die.
I'm gonna try again.
Fair.
15 on the die. Is that
Plus 8, yeah, so 23.
3. All right.
Decent.
And there's no way that we can. We figured out there's no way we can butt
Nope.
that, right?
That's fine.
Decent hiding place.
I mean, we could.
And we've got the bat standing in
We
front
could
of it.
improve
to
it
deter-
eventually. We could improve it eventually.
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
and we've got the bat standing in front of it to deter anyone from taking too close of a look.
If they find it.
Wait, is the bat able to hide in this hatch?
Well, no. The idea is that the hatch is at the back of the bat enclosure.
Yeah.
So that when the bat is
okay.
in its cage, it's in front of
Yeah, all
the
right.
thing. So hopefully people are going to be looking at the bat and not the back wall.
So what do you have a bat? Some rich guy likes
It's just
to
like
eat
somebody
exotic
got
Followed us
somebody
home.
got attacked.
Can't we just say air support? Like,
Yeah, I was just saying like he's
we
part
can
of-
literally just
for
say air
scouting.
support.
Yeah, like
Yeah, it's for scouting.
he's like
So
he
you have
belongs
a
to one of our
smuggling
crew.
hold, which will defeat active search by someone who's not particularly trained in doing so.
And hopefully when it comes down to it, we'll have the bat for
Plus, our new crew member is gonna know who among the patrols are idiots, so it's fine.
hopefully.
Could be.
All right, so let's get sailing.
So we left the bows and arrows with the.
Yes.
Yeah, we didn't
Except for Shank and Kopash, who took theirs.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I could probably try to help them train a little bit better with that. If I remember right, they weren't very good with them.
You can train them in.
I don't think it's a check.
Not really. I don't see, like, there's
It's
no
no
real
benefit-
consequence to failing it.
Yeah, and there's no benefit to us.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you did it.
You can, yeah, you
All
can
right.
say you did it.
Everything on the checklist is checked off.
Okay.
What was the second one?
Train bat.
All right, let's book it.
I think that's more of a half check.
No, it's fine. Only you're being
Well, right now
punished.
he's being-
And the crew around you.
So, shall I assume you're going around Sahagwin Alley?
Yes.
Yes.
Luckily, it rounds up because it's 5 weeks.
Yes, it rounds up, so you would lose
But-
3.
Yeah, but
Oh, sorry, down.
but
You said it
are
rounded
we
down.
getting some of the
Rounds
perishable?
Oh, damn it!
Are we getting some of the perishable food
Yeah.
from the island before we go? So
I
there
am.
we go.
You can get a dot of each
Okay,
without rolling.
perfect. So
yeah.
hopefully we'll
you
end up
can
in
get
Brighton
back
with one.
with. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll
You
make
do,
it.
Awesome,
however, have a
thank you.
sailing check to make.
Yes.
Try and save some.
Okay.
For the love of God, don't let me crack it.
No, we all get to help. Remember, they have to say
Oh,
what
yeah.
we're doing.
Well, except if I failed and all of a sudden we end up in Sahagwin.
I know what I'm doing.
Horrendously failing the sailing check can be bad. Yes.
You sail
doing?
straight.
So,
Okay. I was gonna give a motivational speech about how
You know, if you
of
keep
all the
doing
heroic
motivational
things we've
speeches,
just
they
done,
become less useful.
such as freeing slaves. Like I'm trying to bring up their morale.
Another way of
That's
doing this
fantastic.
is to say either explain what you're doing to help, or give an example of a problem you ran into while sailing, and then explain how you dealt with it.
Okay. I'm trying to bring up the morale
Manually dredging
so
is
that
gonna
the
slow
men's
us
spirits
down.
while they're doing the sailing is better, so that they'll do their work better.
Speaking
of
of
morale,
morale, I am singing a song to keep everyone in time.
I'll give him that speech.
Are they rowing?
That reminds me. Are you bringing
When necessary.
Clarissa with you?
Yeah, I think she's around.
Are you bringing any of the slaves with you?
Yeah, that's.
I
only-
think just Graham. Gerard.
Well, you can't convince all of them to stay on the island
Yeah.
unless
But
you
we
just
can-
refuse to bring them with you.
We can convince
Keep her
them,
in the
though,
bat
that,
cage.
Feed her
She
to the-
turned.
Try and disguise her.
Yeah.
Can we take the
All right,
slaves that
this
are
will only
okay
take a
with
second.
being
Now, if
served?
you stay still, it won't hurt as much.
Oh Jesus!
Also, Gerard has joined your crew. You get a dot for it.
Excellent.
So
SD starts teaching your. No, it's a chopping motion. Aim for the
The
dash.
sharp side of it.
It helps if you punch them in the face first, because they'll try to block that, and then you cut them in the gut.
no man.
It has a handle.
The number one thing to learn in all sword fighting: stick them with the pointy end. It's just-
The problem is machetes don't exactly have a pointy end.
Yeah.
They have a choppy bit. They don't really thrust well, depending on the style of it. but yeah.
all right, so I am making the speech.
Yes.
All right. That's an 18 on the dice. I'm not even gonna bother adding up anything else.
Alright, Beatrice will be keeping track of rations, as always, making sure the crew is working proper shifts, keeping them tightly organized, and
I
then,
say you can't just do the same thing every time.
aw, dang it.
Because the other option is explain a problem that came up and then how you solve it.
I'm gonna think about this for a minute.
It's fine. The main purpose of doing this is to actually generate a sense of time having actually.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something interesting to do.
Anyone else can fill it.
I got something. Okay, so I'm at the ship wheel, checking wind, look at these
Covered in
clouds. The wind isn't really going in a favorable direction. So, in order to get around this, I do a little alternative route that would save time that would normally be a detriment otherwise due to the because if we went the original route, poor wind would suck.
Sailing an odd route and weird winds.
Thanks to the odd route,
Fly
and winds,
behind the sail.
one of the
Like
cords
this.
hold the sails snaps. I see it just as it's tensing and snapping. I run, grab both ends the moment it snaps, holding it, and then with my massive amount of strength bonus, I proceed to go.
Splice it back together.
Yeah.
You successfully splice a main brace.
And get a golf clap.
By yourself.
Yeah, no, I'm standing on the deck and I see this, I'm like,
Dear Lord,
You're just
totally
like-
not ripped in two.
Are we sure he's not magic?
19.
is
You have successfully spliced a main brace by
he a
yourself.
demon?
The rest of the crew are like
Guys, is he a demon?
just staring at you open mouthed.
And you too could have strength like this.
You too could have biceps like
Okay, I
this.
got 16.
fucking whippersnappers.
16? Huh? You too could have biceps like this. Just 4 easy payments.
Alright, Corey, did you roll?
Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
Everyone is trying to break your spirit, keeping you down. Feels like it's now or never. You can fly if you try leaving the past behind.
I'm allowing this.
Alrighty.
He can do the same thing if he makes a different song every time.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so that's a 12 on the die. I'm gonna add, Rockstar.
Yep.
No. So that would be, 23.
Alright. And Vivian. And Amber.
I'll go last.
You are
Unless you
helping
want
hide
to-
my new bunkmate.
What? Why?
You're keeping her up, and she's working rigging, so you're keeping her far enough away from most of the crew that they haven't noticed.
I get her to go in the ghost nest. No.
You could say you're teaching her to work the rigging so that she's away from the other slaves who are like former slaves who are working around the deck.
Okay. Yeah.
And maybe she slips
And
and
I
falls
keep-
and you have
yeah.
to catch her, something like that.
Okay.
If you fail, she
It's like, I'm gonna teach you how to climb on everything.
Alright? Sure.
So that would be like dexterity plus thief.
Dexterity thief, probably.
wasn't that one thing in the catastrophe game where you could actually climb up like verticals?
But 15. Still 15.
Barely limping past success. You just managed to stop her from plummeting to her death.
Saved your life.
Be interesting.
Do you actually just go, oh, saved your life. The shove and grab move.
You actually stumble a bit while you're doing this.
Yeah, it's like, wow, I almost didn't save her
I
life.
totally meant to do that.
You actually pushed her off, grabbed her, but her weight was too much, and you started going over as well, and you had to desperately grab something else.
Yeah.
You actually fell out holding a rope and just spooling down onto the deck. By sheer chance, the rope had a counterweight on it.
He was the counterweight.
You were busy time. You just finished splicing the rope that they were holding. Just suddenly goes taunting, and you're like, "What the? Oh, jeez, that was close."
Because Beatrice was keeping such a tight check on the supplies and stuff like that, she happened to notice that at first, like that some of our supplies were going a bit too low, and that we weren't getting as much from the fish as we should have been getting. And I ended up tracking it down to Shank and Kopesh, who had been stealing fish to feed the bat. and like more and more members of the crew were like stealing fish to feed the bat because they're like, oh, it's so cute.
It's cute?
Well, I guess around long
They're
enough.
like, don't eat me.
Also, you can give me a wisdom check for something real quick.
11 on the die, wisdom plus level 6, so 17 unless well-educated or
Alright,
credible.
you notice that the sugar you're carrying is starting to go off.
Son of a bunch!
You might be able to salvage it and stop it from actually rotting if you like clean it off and stuff.
Yes, she will spend some. She will also rope other members of the crew who.
Punishment.
It's not a punishment,
Yeah.
it's a, oh god, our
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, so yeah, she'll do that as well. Is this what's counting for my?
That's something else entirely.
Okay, 18 on the die.
Okay, for your contribution. Alright.
Oh, I was thinking for the saving of the sugar. I thought we were still.
Oh, that's a special thing.
Oh, okay. All right.
This
then,
is where I
okay, so
introduce-
18 on the die for that thing.
Yep.
Then, how do I save the sugar?
This is where we introduce another fun mechanic. Your crew can only do so many things at a time while they're traveling. You have, at this point, a sailing check to make to save time off of your journey, and a survival check to make to prepare the sugar and prevent it from being damaged. You have a pool of dice. Split them into 2 rolls.
Oh no.
You fiend! You will burn for this!
I'm gonna say 5 for the sugar, 3 for sailing.
But do we not get the base from the survival
Here's
too?
the thing.
Yeah, okay, that should add
Sorry,
6 weeks worth
you
of
actually have
food.
5 dice.
So we don't get anything from their
6.
base
Two
sailing?
of those dice were from your sailing skill.
Okay.
So you have 6 dice to split up amongst your other skills. Your sailing is at 2, so whatever sailing roll you make adds
But
2 dice.
do we not get whatever the base was from
Survival
survival?
Survival is 1, yeah.
That's just,
Okay.
Your survival check will have a base of 1 plus whatever you add.
I would.
Effectively, we have about
So
like
okay, no,
6
now we
weeks worth of
have
food,
9
right?
dice total that we can roll. Yes.
No,
you have the 3 there.
No,
Okay,
those
so
already
survival-
have 2 and 1.
Yeah, survival has a base of 2. Sailing has a
And
base
then
of
we
1.
split
So the
up
other way
the
around.
bonus.
And then the bonus we can
Yes, but I'm saying we have 9
Maybe
dice
if you moved
total,
one of those dice over to
essentially.
the other piece of paper so that we have a visual. Yeah, thank you.
That's for survival.
Yeah, but 3 are already
Survival,
avoided.
sailing.
I would. Okay, so I would add 2 to sailing and the rest in survival. Go 5 and 4. I think we're okay with. I think I'm okay with that.
Because you do have effectively 4 weeks of food and water
Yeah, so
for
we're
this trip,
survival.
But we.
which you're losing at half rate currently.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
so
like about 8.
theoretically that makes up to a maximum we'd skate in there with at 8.
So we could spend
The
extra
other thing
long
to keep
time.
in mind is you're still entrenching it, only cost upkeep while you're using it. So if you make the sailing check, you might be able to save some money that way too, simply in paying less of an upkeep cost.
The question is how much sugar are we going to lose if we don't fix it?
No, I'm more worried about the sugar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't want to find out.
I agree with his plan.
Yeah. So 2 into sailing, the rest into sugar?
Yeah. I'm okay because it's the most
Because
balanced
worst comes
distribution
to
you can
worst,
get.
like even if we get really bad on the sailing, do we just take 6 weeks to get there?
Doing bad on the sailing just means you don't save time.
Okay, so yeah, even if
If
we do
you
bad on the
roll
sailing,
all
we
of
still
the
get there
sailing
in
dice
time.
and don't get any result over 5, it takes you an extra week.
So 5.
Okay. So
So
theoretically,
5. Or no, 6.
do we?
It would be 6.
Yeah, you need to roll
I would-
better than a 5.
I would take 1 out of there. and put it
Yeah,
to
I was
this,
gonna say because at the if at the very least it's 5 weeks, we'll still make it there,
Yeah.
and we'll make it there fine.
I agree with that,
Over
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we? Is there? If we've only got 3 dice in sailing though, does it make sense to even keep the 3rd?
Yes.
Okay, whatever. All right. I'm just like I was saying, like, what are the odds of us
I have a
getting
feeling you
anything?
might regret that in a second.
Oh, really?
Shall we go with the survival?
Let's
check?
hope this does World of
sorry,
Darkness.
sorry.
Oh my
Alright.
god, you're just playing so easily
You guys,
to
you
the
guys,
mind
can,
games.
you guys can.
So easily.
Like,
I know.
I've made,
I love
I have
the
made
one roll
peace
system.
with this
I've made
decision.
peace with
No,
this
but the thing
decision.
is, what's the point of having? What are the odds
Yeah.
of getting a pair on 3 dice? They're
Not that bad.
It's decent.
Low.
We don't need-
On
They're
2 dice, your
really
chance
low.
of getting a pair is 1 in 10.
But we don't need a
On
pair.
3
we
dice,
just
it's
need
slightly
1
higher.
dice over 5.
Fair enough. But there's 50% chance of each.
Well, it's not.
Yeah, that's why we
Slightly
keep 3
higher.
there.
It's because you're making.
But even if we, the thing is,
Checks
even
to
if we get nothing
1.
over 5, we still make it to Brighton just fine. We just take an extra week to do it.
Yeah.
We have enough supplies to do that. I would still vote we move that last one over to the
Sure.
That's where we're going to
Sure.
lose the most.
Whatever.
You can't argue with me.
Sure.
Can I roll a wisdom check to get some DM input on this?
No, this is
This is
statistical.
probability.
This is
There is no check.
this is
involved for
pure
that.
statistics.
What I can tell you is what the consequences of failing them are. Crit failing the survival check, the sugar is ruined and obviously useless. Merely failing it means it is rotting and bad, but you might be able to pass it off and sell it anyway.
Yeah.
With some work, you might be able to pretty it up well enough to scam
in
someone
other
by
words, we're
selling
gonna
it.
make an enemy no matter what.
Yeah. Well,
could.
But if we don't, okay, so yeah.
I think
Success
this is
means
fine.
It's salvaged. And
Okay.
This is fine. Just
On the sailing,
Yes.
success means you save a week if you get a set. If you don't get any sets, but you do get at least one of these numbers over a 5, so 6 or better, it just takes 5 weeks. If you crit fail, you get neither of them comes up with more
So,
than 5.
okay.
It will take an extra week, and something else bad might happen.
Okay, fine.
I will say that something else bad might happen is more along the lines of you might fight something.
Guys, the difference between 5 and 6 weeks is not bad because we have the.
Yeah.
So
I'm basically saying, like, if you roll both these and they snake eyes,
Yeah.
then you're having a fight.
Okay, but what counts as a crit fail on for
Crit
the-
failing in one roll engine is rolling no matches and none of the dice are above a 5.
I think we can take that probably.
I am making the special rule known as ultra crit fail, which is if you roll a 1 and a 2. Because if you roll 2 1s, that's a set. That's a success. So,
Alright.
1 and a 2 is ultimate failure.
I'm okay with that.
I would suggest putting one more dice over here. Just
No,
increase our
I think
chances.
no, because
talking about that.
we have no. There's no negative side really to sailing,
Except that we might get into a fight,
but
which,
that's not a big deal. Because 5 and 6,
A fight.
yeah,
which is a fight. We like fighting.
yeah, we like fighting.
Fighting is fun.
5 and 6 weeks makes no difference to us because of the
another
fishing.
ship.
It
We can
depends
loot
who
them.
we're fighting, but sure.
So
All
yeah,
right, let's.
we're cool
so
with this.
we're,
do this.
all of
Final-
We're gambling.
final answer.
We throw our fate to the wind.
I walk it in.
Starting with a sailing check. That is a
3 and a
failure.
2.
3 and a 2. That's
It's fine.
extra
Not
weak.
a
Not a critical failure. Not a critical failure.
Close.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
So that is going to take an extra week. And the survival check is, hey,
2 10s.
so you got it. You managed to salvage the sugar. It works.
We found some lost jewelry in it
Here's
too.
the other reason why we want to succeed on this. We get more money easily, which we can buy food with.
Yeah.
We'll celebrate.
That's how that works.
we're
That's how that works.
Just starve for a week.
I will actually say what the second set does for you is, as you're cleaning off the sugar and like cutting away bits of it, chipping
We
away bits
find
of it
gold.
that aren't any good. No. What you find is parts of it where it's starting to go moldy, but the kind of mold it has isn't harmful. So it would ruin the sugar if someone like saw it and said that's moldy, I don't want that. But you know it is safe for someone to eat, so you can feed it to people.
so we can use it to spice up the food.
Yes. I will say you save 1 week worth of bat upkeep by feeding the bat slightly moldy sugar.
And we have to make sure we're keeping it active.
Alright.
So
And it's like thick.
So your trip takes 6
actually,
weeks.
Yeah, let's
may I,
not
may I
fatten
suggest
the bat.
that the way we do that with the bat and the sugar is that like individually feed it so it'll like equate
yeah.
us with treats
Fair enough.
and and Shank and Kopesh, of
I mean, we
course.
could do it with the entire crew.
Because I think
Instead of
Shank and
shaking Kopesh with fish.
Yeah.
Vicious delicious fish.
I think Shank and Kobesh are going to be its primary riders in combat situations.
Yep.
So.
No, it's going to be me.
No, it's going to be Shank and Kopesh.
It's
Gonna be Shank.
It's going to be Shank and Kopesh. No, it's going to be Shank and Kopesh because 2 of them can ride the one bat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One
it's,
normal person can also ride it.
Yes, but
Somewhat clumsily. But
If you
yeah,
remember the crew, it'll
you have
probably go
like a
back.
pilot and a shooter. That's way better than just a pilot.
It depends on the situation.
Yeah, it will depend on the situation.
Combat-wise, I would go with Shank and Kopesh.
It will generally probably make more sense.
Scouting-wise, it doesn't matter. But combat
Don't worry, you can
has
take
to
as
be
many
Shank
joy
and
rides on the bat as you want as long as you're not on duty.
Kopesh. As long as we're not fighting people, I don't care. Do what you
If he's
will.
supposed to be working on the ship, he
Oh, yeah,
knows
fair
basically
enough.
Basically, it's not your bat,
might be
it's our
scouting.
bat.
I will say you can actually use
Like
rotten sugar
hours
to pay the bat's
collectively.
upkeep all the way back to
Now
because it was a
you
set
want
of
the
10s.
bat.
Which
No,
is like
I
really-
always did. Okay, I voted on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it costs
Critical
critical
And it's
success.
a ship asset,
12 lucre
not
to
personal
run
pet.
your
Yeah, and she
skill.
wanted to have the bat too.
Okay.
We just chose to bring one
Still
bat with us
in
instead of two because
Fisher.
we couldn't
Those
keep
5 weeks are spent in delirious drunkenness.
No, that's we're distilling fresh water. No. Yes.
Nobody told me that.
That is
I wouldn't have fixed it if I knew that was.
that is literally the whole purpose of it.
Then why did I make barrels of whiskey?
It's like you were like, I was wondering why that crew all seemed tipsy.
That's why we lost sailing.
That's with that extra sugar that was going moldy anyway.
Yeah.
Literally the whole purpose of the still is to make fresh water so we can live.
This is clean.
Alcohol is dehydrating.
Interesting note. Many people believe that it's not exactly correct
Okay.
because alcohol by itself does dehydrate. However, most alcohol you drink is going to be
Contains water,
alcohol
yes.
and water.
Yes.
You actually have to have a ridiculously high proof before it starts dehydrating you.
Considering it's him, I
Actually, a funny
yeah, 'cause
story.
beer is like liquid bread, and it's
70%
fine.
or something.
But considering it's him,
Yes, beer is liquid bread's good.
considering it's him, he's not making that kind of liquor. You know,
He's making triple distilled.
like he's making the ultimate moonshine. That
It is 100.
It's the real McCoy.
It is an impossible proof.
It is literally the real McCoy.
So,
Because that's what it's known to be.
Pardon?
6 weeks is like a month or a month and a half.
6 weeks? Yeah, about a month and a half. You could try another bat training roll
That would be nice.
during that trip. Yep.
More poop on his bed.
Oh yeah, it's been more than a month. Neelix will be happy.
Yes. There's a night where, for some reason, you get distracted with a whole bunch of minor problems at disparate parts of the ship. It's not until the next morning you realize, wait a minute,
They're running me.
all of them were carefully avoiding this one area of the ship. And the next morning, all the crew seems really happy,
Wait a
but also really hungover.
Did I just become Tuvok?
Yes. You are.
Totally Tuvok.
I got
Added on as yet another part of your name.
exactly 25.
Nice.
It'll never poop on your bed again.
Forever.
Only pooped on you a little.
Yeah, her last name's now Tuvok.
In fact, it helps you clean out the poop out of your bed because you crit so hard. Just like
No, what it means is 20 gets it to train not to poop on the bed. 25 means he did it and cleaned up after it well enough that your crew doesn't take a hit of ableness for having their food contaminated with poop at some
okay,
point.
fair enough. Good job.
Well done.
It poops where you want.
Attack poop.
I would like to point out that this whole section of this game in my notes is listed as the great question of all rebellions. So now what?
I think we covered that really well.
Alright.
You didn't get attacked by Sahagwin, so you didn't get a chance of getting a magic item.
Aww.
One of them has a magic thing.
That's it.
It's called the scale of that which slumbers below.
Oh god, I was gonna ask, is there anything in the warehouse, like anything that's marked "Do Not Touch" under
No.
any circumstances?
They would have just thrown it away.
We would have touched it, yeah.
Good. You guys are coming in to the island of Brighton again. I would say it's probably just moving on evening now as you're approaching. You probably timed this somewhat deliberately.
I was
Yes?
gonna say, also on the way back, Beatrice would have been consulting with their rescue guard, just to, again, because she was keeping track of what was going on before with the thing. So she knows a little bit already, but to talk to him more about it to get a better idea of how to circumvent the guards. Maybe they can give him a run around instead of just, they've had practice.
I'm assuming we're going to keep him on deck and also have him use the telescope to help identify the ships so that we know who's the idiot crew and who's the smart crew.
Put him on
back.
He's been doing it for a couple of years, though. He probably doesn't know specifics anymore.
Yeah.
He does not. However, you went out of your way early on to study current systems of ratings and whatnot.
And you gave me a floating bonus to that.
Yes, I gave you a +1 floating bonus. With Gerard and you working together, it becomes a floating +3 bonus to evade them. So you know that you were supposed to be meeting with a representative of Horus at a small cove on a less inhabited side of the island. However, first you're going to have to evade harbour patrols. This requires a skullduggery check. You have a +3 to this check innately, plus your crew's already existent 3 skill in skullduggery. So you're already starting at 6 dice.
And we go around adding.
Save the bonus for after the roll.
What?
The +3.
+3, it's just
3 dice.
added 2 checks to evade harbour patrols.
Yeah, it's.
It doesn't go away after you spend.
But no, I think he was talking about like what you were talking about with the cannon, so that's a different thing.
Oh.
I've gone through interrogations under the war.
Also, here, you get one of these for saving sugar.
Thank you kindly.
And other ones, let's see.
Anybody done
I
anything?
am not ranking trading a bat as a glorious act.
Which one you get covered in?
And I ride on the back and sightsee.
Yeah. No, I don't think any of the rest of you have one yet.
I have been tortured in the past under the war and know how to withstand interrogations.
Is it an interrogation or a casual questioning?
This is the boat inquisition.
Well, no, like, as in, like, keep your mouth shut even under horrible conditions.
Okay,
Presumably the break guard won't torture them, but yeah, good. Let's talk about
Yeah,
it.
so I'm gonna teach my crew some of those skills. Like, here's how you deal with some of the things that might happen.
So this is moving into yet another one of these fun little checks of, hey, guess what? This one is a split between skullduggery and sailing. Sailing to avoid things like rocks and reefs, skullduggery to avoid being spotted by a patrol.
Okay.
13 on the dice. Ex-rebel sergeant, I'm assuming. Yep. So that'll be 21.
I will also point out your floating +3 applies to both of these checks.
Ooh, delightful.
So, yeah. So both of them are going to be starting at a fairly high number.
It works out well for us.
Alright, so we can all add a dice,
Try to.
theoretically.
Try to.
Yep. Just explain as you're attempting to sneak your way around patrols. Night is coming on.
Yeah,
It's getting dark.
Oh, I got another good one.
I'm a thief.
Map.
You're a map guy.
Yeah.
You are the navigator.
Yeah.
It would be your job to know where the reefs around Brighton's islands are,
Yeah.
including the areas of it that aren't really normally traveled because, they're full of reefs.
Would Amber,
There's a reason this side of the island doesn't really have a harbor on it.
would Amber make another check
To do what?
to add another dice herself, other than the
For
floating
this
plus
one? You could, yeah.
Has the sun
I have an
already
idea what
set?
to do.
Oh, I have an idea.
Why are you asking?
I'm asking because one thing to help prevent boats from being noticed at night is make sure there's no lights or torches or anything. So my idea was going to be that I was keeping an eye on the past crew members to make sure they're not using torches or lights.
Not smoking on the deck.
Or falling off the
Do you,
deck.
do you
'cause there's
teach
no
them
lights.
what's known as the sailor's grip on a cigarette? Which is if you have a cigarette with a burning
Oh, yeah.
end, you hold it like this.
Oh, is that they actually do that?
Yeah, they did that in the war to stop bombers from seeing the glow.
That's why you get like admirals in general. So
Yeah,
like
they do that. They cover the pipe with their hand like that.
Yeah, I get it now.
Clever. Clever.
It's just a habit they've developed after years of training it not dying.
I keep them the same habit.
Yep.
So here's my idea. They dropped me
Add your
off a little while along shore,
15's what you
and
need.
I'm going along the shore as a pretending to be a
That's
traveling.
what you need.
Wait, one roll at a time, right?
I do assume.
To avoid confusion, let's go with that. Yes.
Yeah. So
I'm a bright,
Not
noisy
yet.
traveling.
Wait. He needs to add his bonuses.
I only got 14.
okay, 14.
Ooh, sadness. You were saying there?
Basically, they're going to drop me off shore a while back. I'm going to go around, sort of follow the ship and be a big, loud, dancing hobo, as completely as conspicuous as possible.
Oh, distraction! Distraction.
Everybody look at me!
What's the guy's
for it.
name from Order of the
Hey,
Snake?
look, what's
How does
over
he
there?
better?
What's this for?
I'm distracting them.
Distracting
He's
who?
getting off of the ship in a rowboat, rowing elsewhere, and then making a lot of noise to attract a harbor patrol while you go somewhere else.
Can we have Shank and Kopash sneak somewhere and just yell suppressing fire at people?
Suppressing fire!
Suppressing fire!
You could make use of that bat you have.
Yeah, well, that's my thought was to send her
It
off
has
telepathically.
a chrono.
Yeah, no, what I wanted
I just wanted to make that
to
joke.
find
I didn't
out
mean it
one where the
seriously.
ship is.
Exactly.
So
but
I
it
got
has to be one of
29.
us. I'm thinking,
Wow.
you're doing the math.
Sorry,
You're doing the
19.
ship.
Not
So
29.
you could be
Freak me out there.
Only 19,
That's what I'm
eh?
thinking.
Do I need to?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a 20.
It's 20, they're professionals. Yep. You're trying to evade professional sailors here.
Alright.
Okay, so I'm gonna, I'm probably gonna take the bat and either probably
Clarence.
Sure.
Did
Clarence.
we want to name it Clarence?
I kind of don't, but I'm gonna.
A discussion for another time.
Batrand. It's like Bertrand. But that.
A discussion for another time. And you can keep that Clarence. No one else calls it Clarence. That's always funny.
I like Bartholomew.
That's all of you. But anyway, so
El Bato.
Yeah, no, I want to, because
El Fomo.
it has echolocation, so we can actually, kind of follow.
No. It's
I
in The
think the
Simpsons.
idea was she's taking the bat out to scout and
know who-
telepathically
No, but
telepathically
We're
relay
gonna,
it.
yeah, I'll keep note on the boats that
Yeah.
comes.
I remember that now.
That was great.
Sorry, I'm distracting. Alright.
But yeah, I'm gonna take the bat, and then I'm gonna bring, a lamp in case I need to be a distraction with me, but I'm not gonna light it. I'm gonna mostly keep tabs on where the harbor patrol is. Still.
She'd give me probably wisdom to try and
totally
spot things and or interpret bat vocalization.
I totally forgot about the mental
But-
communications.
But would the harbor patrol not have lights on?
Actually, yeah, they would. So it would be just a wisdom check to spot them.
I wonder if I can stab, or we can
And,
stab a piece
my
of
background?
the gems
No.
into the bat.
Well,
Get in.
Which one are you adding?
Well, if she adds merchant, she's spent a lot of time around ships, so she's familiar with their.
Merchant would work. Thief
Yeah.
would actually also work, just spotting guard patrols.
There you go. Thief. When in doubt, thief.
When in doubt, the 5-point backgrounds.
19.
19, eh?
If only we waited until next week to sneak around, then we could all have just added +1 to our
Yeah, I know.
the +1 incremental advance.
Okay. Now, however,
You did
if,
add your level, yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
however,
I have
if
no
she's
wisdom.
relaying that information telepathically to me, who has a higher wisdom bonus, can I?
I would say
aid her?
I would say you can try the same check.
Okay. Alright.
It won't count as a double success,
yeah,
but
no,
you can do
yeah,
it as
no.
your thing.
Alright. So 19 on the die. So.
I think that's it.
That's all of us.
I think so.
No, did
that's-
you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kind of
and he
unfortunate.
said it counted as.
Alright, so
Yeah.
glorious
no, I-
action.
Oh
This is where
dear.
everyone
Well, I
goes,
was
oh god.
too, so.
This is where everyone throws pens at you. What are you doing?
Alright, so coral reef, right?
Yes.
Here's
so
an important question. Are you telepathically sharing this with the crew, or do you want to tell me aside first what you're doing?
No, but it's
Why you gotta be like this?
If it's something that's going to become immediately obvious when you do it, there's no point.
Trevor, why you gotta be like this?
Because I'm a monster.
Okay, here's the thing though. Here's
Nothing
the
good
thing though.
starts with,
After,
hey, a coral reef.
here's the thing though. After that note,
gonna
we're
try
keeping an eye on him. So if we notice him doing anything other, we are double
can we
checking
get
the
a
map.
No. Our guard dropped because he did well.
Well.
We dropped our.
Oh,
We
you think
were lured into a false sense of security.
If you think Beatrice let something like that go,
I'm
she
assuming
has
we
a
did.
list. Oh
He's
dear
gonna
God.
try and lose the guard ship.
By going through the reefs.
Yeah. But,
Oh, good.
but if the guard ship
So we're gonna
doesn't
shipwreck,
catch
right?
on,
Yeah. We can lose all the sugar, we'll lose our lives, we'll lose our crew.
we have a metal ship bow.
TPW! Generate new characters!
We have a metal ship bow at least.
Yeah, but
So it's
you're not going to be the only
Your
person looking at
navigator's
the
plotted a
map.
course.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
no,
through the reef?
No. But the thing is,
You're not sure.
But the thing is, here's the thing. We are telepathically
it is,
communicating with Vivian's character, who's relaying information to us. So I will also have to be looking at the maps in order to help coordinate their efforts. So if I see, oh hey, you're trying to take us into a coral freaking reef,
He's pointing out a passage between some reefs.
yeah, and
a safe
I'm
passage.
gonna roll with.
Trust your.
I'm
That's all
going
you
to
know. That's-
ask.
Trust your
What are
goddamn
you?
face, Trevor.
What is your thoughts about what are you planning here? Since you are our navigator, she's asking you a direct question.
It won't change anything now.
Yeah, it's done. Just make
Wait,
a roll.
lying is a different thing.
If you are,
I can say she's not lying.
Okay, yeah.
well, yeah, but I want to know what you're doing
Just make
before
a
you do
roll.
it. Oh, sure.
It's been done.
Oh, it's a 14, so that's
Alright, that is a
Also, so you get a +2 on it because of one of your crew's traits.
26.
Yeah.
Whatever it is,
The
he
trait was
succeeded.
risk takers.
Yeah.
What he did was plot a course between two reefs, which was dangerous as hell.
that's why I asked.
Why would you?
However, he wasn't like going through a reef. It was more just, this is a risky ass thing to do at night.
Yeah.
The plus side
It's a good
is,
thing you succeeded.
what I basically said was, doing this, the crew are innately risk takers, so he gets
Fair
a
enough.
bonus.
Fair enough.
And I basically said the DC would be lower because they're not having to evade patrols, because patrols do not come over here.
Yeah.
But consequences of failure would be more severe.
Yeah.
You know what? Good idea.
He took
Well
a gamble,
done.
it paid off.
Next
done.
time you're gonna do something like that, though, tell us.
I don't,
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
sure.
yeah. I don't see why I had to keep it a secret. But yeah.
Alright.
That's true. Why would you keep it a secret?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
He probably keeps it a secret right up till you're in the middle of doing it, where you can't tell him not
You,
to.
okay, but here's the thing though. If you keep doing that, we're gonna stop letting you, like, as a crew,
Do
we're not
things.
going to let you do anything anymore. You have to tell us what you're doing, or we're going to lock you in the hold.
With the
Well,
bat.
the problem is, he's actually a trained navigator. You're not.
Yes.
We'll hire a goddamn
Replace
new
him.
one. We'll take the hit to Luca.
But if they don't trust the navigator, that's a whole different
Exactly. If we
thing.
can't trust you, we can't keep you on the ship.
Fair points.
Whole other thing.
No, we'll.
Well, that's the problem.
And if we can't keep you on the
I'm
ship,
actually going to give a bonus die because that course of action corresponds to what your crew likes to do anyway. It's just gamble and take risks.
Alright, let's roll.
Let's do it.
So you have a sailing check and a skullduggery check to make. You have 5 dice to split up amongst them. Both the pools will get a +3, just as a result
So we're
of
starting off with 6 in each.
that floating bonus.
What does the sailing lose?
What is what?
What does sailing lose
Sailing?
us?
Ship condition.
so we scuff it up.
Depending on how badly you rolled, you will damage your ship, hitting reefs and rocks and whatnot.
What would be a critical failure?
Crit failing would be probably.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
You would lose if you crit fail. You lose 2. If you just fail, you lose 1. You would also gain a trait Oh no, actually you wouldn't gain it for that yet.
I would focus on skullduggery.
Yeah. Skullduggery is crit failing means you are attacked immediately.
Yeah.
Failure means you're stopped and searched, which may end badly, or you might be able to talk your way or bribe your way out of it. And success means you evade them. I will say if you get into a fight with the Harbour Patrol, your ship will get a problem tag called suspicious damages.
Well, here's the thing. In order to crit fail means we have to not get any pairs. So
And below.
Not any pairs, and every die is a 5 or
then
less.
literally we cannot crit fail our sailing check because we have 6 in it already.
Exactly. It's not possible to crit fail that check.
So worst, we lose 2 ship conditions.
Worst you would lose 1 because you can't crit fail.
Oh, okay.
Which we can afford to take with the ship condition of 5.
We can put it on skullduggery.
Good.
I'm fine with that. 3 and 9. Or 8. Math is hard.
No. 4 and 8.
No, it's 3 and 8. That's just what it is. That's how many dice we have.
5 dice here to spell.
Risk taking again, yes.
I'm fine with 3 and 8. 3 is a decent number of dice.
5 is the free dice you have to move around.
Yeah, okay. But they're both starting off at 6.
No, they're both starting at
3.
I thought we
They're
got
starting at 3 plus the rating of the skill.
Yeah.
Yes. Skullduggery is starting at 6, sailing is starting at 5.
I'm talking about pure number of dice.
Yeah, so we're
Okay.
I'm okay with 3
I
and
think
8.
we're pretty good for this.
I think 3 and 8 is fine.
Yeah.
Where are you getting 3
Yeah,
and 8?
nothing is
3
starting
dice.
at 3.
3 dice.
5.
You have 5 dice to move
No.
around.
I understand, because it's 3 dice, 3 dice.
Yeah,
Dice have nothing to do with
No, they're
this.
starting off at 5 and 6. The baselines are 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Number
There's
of
literally
dice?
nothing
Yeah.
that's starting off at 3.
Because you have a skill in the rating in the
And
skill
bonuses.
No, we got the floating bonus for each
Okay.
of them.
We have
That's why
All
we
in
were
skullduggery. Do this.
That's basically what I was
Yeah.
Everything
All
is
in
gold.
skullduggery?
Yeah.
Any objection?
Nope.
No.
Yeah.
Because
3 dice.
Go big or go home. Let's do this.
3 in skullduggery. How many is this? See how well you do.
The ones.
Ones aren't bad.
they're still pairs.
Oh my god.
Have 4 ones.
It takes us a little while, but we're okay.
No. With his speed.
Oh, what's the
Yeah,
speed?
we just don't do it to a high quality.
Yep.
Theoretically.
And you have extra sets. Ooh, extra sets.
Okay.
Yep. So you can actually get there pretty quickly, and without taking damage, possibly. The Harbour Patrol do not notice you. With a width like that, they in fact do not even spot you. If you had gotten like a lesser success, it would have been they spotted you but then lost sight of you kind of thing. But with that, they don't even notice you're there at all. Nice. And then you have a sailing check to make.
Watch us botch this so bad.
We lose 1 ship
We
condition out of
literally
5
cannot
or
crit fail
4.
it, so-
It's fine.
Yeah, yes you can. 5 dice on the sailing check.
I thought that sailing was
3
only starting
plus
off with
2.
6.
Skullduggery is starting off at
sugar
6.
crackers. We should've
That's
stuck
why I
it there.
asked you to confirm what you were doing the second time.
Well, we got 1 over, so we got a 9 and a 6.
No crit fail, but no success. So you lose 1 ship condition as you scuff your hull on some rocks.
Everyone add coral to your inventory.
Oh, God. It's probably like beach.
It's probably more you're pulling up to where you're supposed to stop. There's no real place to actually beach the ship because it can't really dock or anything. But you pull up a bit too close to the shore before you actually stop. It's like
There was a single crab just chilling there. And it got.
it's just a single crab chilling. Sees a boat. Scuttles for dear life. Crush out of the shore. The crab's like pinned against a rocket ship right here. It's like
No, it's like one of those badass action movies where he's going along with
the crabs. It's like an action man running away from an exploding fireball. Except it's a crab scuttling sideways away from a ship hull coming towards him.
Stuff like
Boards and rocks and gravel flying everywhere.
So does the
It's okay. We're
running along the line.
we can
Instead
afford the
of
1 ship
side.
condition.
It's actually it's a crab. It is about to turn around and go, and then it remembers it's a crab, scuttles sideways out of the path.
So stupid in every goddamn movie. Just
Yes.
like, along the line. Not diagonal. Ever.
Not sideways. So you guys have managed to dock. Well, not dock, but
Well, stop.
get a little rowboat. You guys, you bring Shaq and Kopesh with you to shore.
Before
Someone's got to row.
before we go meet him, let's settle with the plan
Well,
of
you're supposed to be meeting a representative of him. you're supposed to leave like a signal for him to come meet you.
Before we do that, let's
Because I mean, it's not like he's hanging around in the woods for several weeks. When do you get back?
let's finalize the decision of: are we gonna screw him over completely and potentially make an enemy, or are we gonna like
We're gonna try and get
everything?
the most money.
Okay, sure.
Give me a retroactive wisdom check, Brendan, for when you first met the guy, to get a read on it.
That'll be 15, 18. Can I add? I'm gonna say sergeant because I'm used to reading people's faces, especially of my men.
Especially if they're going to shank you.
By that.
Yeah, especially if they're
You're
gonna
certainly
shank
good
me.
at reading shank potential.
Yeah.
That's someone you're talking to.
So that'll be 22.
All right. Your reading of the guy when you met him would be that he didn't seem like the type, like, he does shady things, but he didn't seem violent to you.
Okay.
It's more likely, like, if you screwed him over, his response would be probably poison your trade connections,
Okay.
or refuse to deal with you.
We have none.
The other thing you got, I would say, how much did you get total?
22.
22? All right, not quite ridiculous. I would say you're not entirely sure if you're mad about the liberated the harbour.
Okay.
I would guess that what would piss him off more is if you didn't warn him about it.
And can I just throw this out right
So
here?
we just
One
tell
thing we
them
can bring
there's
up
going to be a
in
bit of a shake-up in the next week
well,
in the
okay.
sugar market.
Well, the other thing we can tell them though is if we tell them that, we say, you know, it's going to take them a little while to change their laws about getting that embargo removed.
You might want to sell it back.
So you're still going to be in demand.
Okay. So do you want to? So do we want to tell them that?
I would
Yeah.
tell them.
Okay, fine. We'll tell them. We'll also tell them it's going to take them a while for them to actually get sugar production back to where it was. And second of all, so it's still going to be rare. And second of all, it's like now it opens up a channel for you to get more sugar in the long run.
Downside to this,
Liquidate
you might
your
want to
assets.
drop the price.
Yeah. So
Well, yeah, but then we can also help talk. We can also try and talk it back up at least part of the way by
It's gonna
our
be the
various abilities here. So
your rich
okay.
people are gonna want this shirt.
Okay,
This guy's
so
coming
yeah.
in for a few.
we'll tell them. All right. We'll send them the signal now. And yes, we're taking Shank and Kopash, especially just because it's just cool to bring them along. Like we've named them, so
We
you
need
know.
to leave at least
If you
one of
need
us
me, I'll
behind on
just
the
come
ship.
in on a bat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
At least one person behind on the ship.
Can we have them flying the bat, just like patrolling?
If you wanted to.
But actually, it'd be more useful to have Vivian up there because, or our scout, because
I think
they,
scout.
yeah, the scout probably, because that way they can telepathically communicate to us if anything's coming to us,
Fair enough.
and actually have to tell us.
Yeah. Don't
Fair
worry,
enough.
I'm not going to not tell you
I'll
when
just
it's really
prime my
important.
secret note right in hand.
I have absolutely zero faith in your ability to see something and not try to deal with it yourself at this point. That's why you can't keep secrets.
Does love glory.
All right. So
Sweet, sweet glory.
yeah, we're sending a signal and we're going out to shore.
And you want to go up on the bat then?
Yeah, I'll be on the back.
Awesome.
Alright,
Try and stay
Clarence,
out of
time for the
sight.
ride.
So you send out the signal. Eventually, a day or so later, after waiting for him, Eduardo catches an eye on a group of people who are approaching. They have a big, heavy wagon, a couple of them actually. Riding along with them is a elf guy, long black hair, tied back.
I am currently being distracted by the authorities who are trying to.
True, forgot you're out.
Oh yeah.
This is
He's in
true.
the drunk tank.
They probably wouldn't let you go after a couple of days. You could probably have made your way back if you want. Up to you.
Walk to that part of the island.
Are you gonna have fun with it?
We will circle back around
No,
for you.
I'm actually going to go into town
Yeah.
and
Yep.
have some fun.
All right.
Can I get a luck? Or no? Can I get a luck point next session?
Oh, I've still got two of these stupid things to spend.
I haven't spent mine yet.
Yeah, well, we're about to get into negotiations, so we're gonna need them.
So eventually, they arrive. You spot actually, as the cart is arriving, a couple of people get off of it and move off into the trees. They're armed, so apparently he has spotters in case of treachery.
I mean,
We have shaking practice.
I'm assuming,
Or they're planning to murder you.
I'm assuming he tells
Could be
us
either.
this, and we're like, oh, okay, that's standard operations. Sure.
Fairly typical, yeah. Soon enough, the cart arrives. There's a bunch of guys that just look like longshoremen, here to lift stuff, put it on the cart, not ask many questions. And yeah, there's a high elf guy with long black hair tied back, standing with his hands behind his back. He says, welcome back, welcome back. So, everything goes smoothish? I ask, noticing it's a couple of weeks later than it should have taken here.
Relatively.
It's So you spent like 3 weeks training him out. It's like a month after he was expecting you.
Yeah, it's like we.
I was beginning to get worried.
There were some changes to the.
There were some changes in management, so to speak.
We have some things to discuss.
Yes.
Please, by all means, discuss.
So when we got to the island,
How much do you like your business?
well, first of all, we were able to get
My business? I'm quite fond of my business.
we were able to get quite a bit of sugar.
Good.
However, the
Primary trade.
working conditions there were quite poor, and
Well,
We don't
it's a
need
slave
to necessarily.
plantation.
Yes.
We don't need to necessarily tell him we freed the slaves. We can't
Yeah.
just say the island has undergone a change of management. If he asks us, we can tell him we helped.
Yeah.
sure. And
Depending on his reaction.
a change of management occurred.
Oh, how so?
No more slavers.
Okay. We talking rebellion, freed, burned to the ground and
Combination
raised.
No, it's freed, and now new people are attempting to operate the farm.
He doesn't actually seem angry hearing that.
Yeah.
So
So,
it is quite possible that the trade embargo for sugar will now be lifted.
But
eventually.
Yes,
Yeah.
but
Beatrice
not
will-
right now. So our recommendation would be to get rid of this
Sell
inventory
it fast.
relatively.
Well, I
quickly.
appreciate you telling me that you're bringing me something of less value.
the value's probably not going to go down.
It's not going to go down for a while.
Well, between the fact that it takes so long.
Well,
to
first
get
the
back.
embargo will have to be lifted, and then they'll have to travel and get it.
We could also withhold the
they're-
information of this until after you're finished selling.
Yes.
But now that you told him, he could just tell them.
Yeah, you can tell them.
But that just
If you
know,
agree
it's
not to
brother.
mention this rebellion or the change in ownership of the plantation, I could probably be persuaded to part with something your way as a thank you for that.
Sure.
Guys, group huddle. We can't.
For how long would you want an embargo on this information?
Oh, at least a week or so.
I think that's fine.
We don't
This
need
is-
to group huddle.
This is agreeable.
Mental group
I
huddle.
think that's fine.
From the other side of the island, in the drunk tank, comes Ramadan going, "I don't need to group huddle."
Mental.
Yeah. Brain huddle.
A week in the long run is not an issue.
Yeah.
But we,
The slaves on that island do need, supplies.
yeah, but we would like to ask that you.
Currently, no one's coming for them to bring them supplies, and it has already been a month and a half.
Yeah. But if you consider how long that is, the percentage that a week adds, I mean, if they're going to be screwed, they're going to be screwed whether that week happens or not.
They're only going to be slightly more miserable.
Yeah. They can't do anything to us.
In the big scheme of things, we're not adding much misery.
Plus, they don't know why it got held up. You know,
Okay, just
We probably won't be blamed.
like no, we could have been attacked. They don't know,
There was the Hagen.
so it's fine.
Yeah.
All right.
a week is agreeable.
Yeah. All right.
We agree to those
We will
terms.
do that. Also, yeah, the production is going to take a long time to get back started, so the price actually might not change for a while, especially because the whole production, production's never going to get back to where it was for a while.
However, invest in some legit operations in places where sugar isn't illegal, because the price is going to go up. Because demand.
They're gonna have to drop their prices soon.
Prices here will probably drop,
Yeah.
We're not wrong.
simply because the pain in the ass of getting here will be less.
Yeah.
There's less sugar to go around, but it's easier to get. So,
Okay. So,
It'll
yeah.
go down, but not by much, basically.
What are you guys offering us, or what have you guys brought for us?
he has brought a variety of random things. He's not sure what you're actually looking for payment in. He's got,
Anything that we can sell legit. basically.
spices. Most of it appears to be more luxury goods, like spices and stuff like that. But again, I'm leaving it ambiguous as to what it is.
Silks. We'll all be dressed in the finest robes.
It's stuff.
Basically, we just want
I'm
more.
deliberately leaving it vague in case it becomes relevant later, and you want it to be a specific
The thing
thing.
is-
Because regardless of what it is, once you take it to town, you can trade it for other stuff. So
And right now we have X amount of lucre. Basically, we want to end the day with more lucre than we currently have, and then spend some of it on crew.
Cargo full of silks.
We'll decide the
Unspecific
specific
stuff.
later.
Unspecific stuff.
Yes. Lucre. It is lucre. That's what it is.
So the production's lower. They're still gonna be in a weapon for a while.
Get a cannon on you.
Yes, they transported a cannon out of Brighton, the military state.
With you guys talking to him back and forth, coming to some decision based on the risks involved, the fact that it is still contraband and whatnot, you can argue they are contraband goods, they're non-local luxury goods. There are known risks to shipping them. There is a bonus for having informed him of the rebellion,
Delightful.
so that he can plan his markets accordingly.
Nice.
And there is a +3 for agreeing not to spread word of rebellion for at least a week.
Nice.
In total, he will offer you 34.
Well, say that we had 24, like, our lucre value for the sugar originally was 23 or
24,
24.
And we save money on
That's-
food in the long run already.
So,
By the way, the guards know nothing
But we
about
can-
this shipment.
and we can roll,
Literally nothing.
and we can roll a ship, oh yeah, that's actually
You can roll negotiation. Yes.
Alright. And if we fail the negotiation check, we lose.
If you get a nat 1, you lose 1 from the lucre value. If you fail to get even a 10, you also lose 1. It's possible to hit both of those.
Okay.
And then you tell me before you roll whether you're going for DC 15, 20, or 25.
Go for 20, you roll because you have 2.
Yeah. And if one doesn't make it, I can use the other, right?
Yep.
Or is it only one per roll? Okay.
You can use as many as you want on a roll.
Alright, so I'm going for 20 then. Am I adding
You could go with
bureaucracy?
either charisma or intelligence, and you can add bureaucracy.
Yeah. Intelligence basically talking circles, making sure she's using the local laws to her advantage. I got an 11 on the die, and I get 11 for my thing, so that's 22.
Alright. You get an extra +2.
No luck points ever!
Yeah, just, all these like
Just hoarding them.
Hoarding. Covered it. Well, I haven't had that
We
many
probably
opportunities.
could. No, we probably could have used both luck points to go for 25 and double d6. Whatever.
Do you double D6?
Yes.
Oh.
Damn it!
Oh well. We did good.
Yeah, 20's still significant.
It is satisfactory.
All told, you now have a total of 53 lucre.
We're buying a cannon!
You can.
We're getting some sweet rims.
By the way, it is
cost a lot of money.
no, it is dumb to buy a cannon because there's no gunpowder.
Well, no, it's between the two of us that uses them, and I had the most bonuses, which is why I did it.
Cannons actually are fun because it doesn't cost a lot to buy one, but it costs you money every time you fire one.
Yeah.
Like if we
It costs like 10 lucre.
just need a
fire.
ballista. We need a ballista. That's ish. We don't need a cannon.
You can get a ballista for probably like 10.
All right.
There's also,
How much is it?
I want to get like a bunch of like bows and
Nothing, but
arrows
they have an
for the
upkeep
cuties.
cost.
Pardon?
I want to
We
get
could-
a
you
bunch
could-
of bows and
you
arrows
could
for the
just-
cuties.
Cut down a tree, shave its end into a point, and go there. Foom.
Ballistas are versatile.
Modified to fire people.
Hey, I'd be okay with that. You know, just hold your sword out in front of you. You're just like,
Although we could
I'm a
use,
blade.
we could use the bat to like airdrop people onto.
I would tell you for ranged weapons, your crew has a type of melee weapon and a type of ranged weapon that they're using. Ranged weapons would be +1 for just giving the crew bows and crossbows. 2 is if you get ballistas or catapults. 3 is cannons.
So much. Until we're like self-sustaining on money, we're not going with cannon.
Yeah.
We can't afford a cannon.
But one day.
One thing we need to get is that
The swappable signs, yeah.
Absolutely,
I'm okay with
100%.
that.
Oh yeah.
All right, so
Worth noting, your boat is still titled the Sweet Lash.
we're Jesus. Can we repaint this now, guys?
Yeah.
You can repaint it before you sail into harbour proper.
Yeah, let's do that. We're gonna paint it back to the Duchess so that they recognize us.
No, the shining star.
No,
Okay.
The rich
I'm
lass.
probably
they
gonna
can
need to
recognize
The
check-
rich bitch.
I'm probably going to need to make a check
They can
to
recognize
alter our
us.
book such as that it doesn't look like we
Oh,
mysteriously
actually,
came back.
Horace
from-
will hand you a manifest indicating legitimate sources for all the goods he's given you.
Excellent.
Oh, nice.
And she will definitely be checking them.
Legitimate.
She's definitely going to be checking to make sure that everything checks out and it's not going to
Reading
get
through
caught
this,
that way.
it does not read as a forgery, however, you're pretty sure it is.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
But
She
it's
just-
real good.
She's making sure that it, and she's gonna make sure that she back record, like she makes.
what do
back
you mean
records.
pretty sure? Like, it's fake.
You're pretty sure it's fake based on who gave it to you.
Well, it's also, you know, like,
Nothing in the way it's written suggests.
But the thing is, if we're going to be going into Brighton and telling them, hey, eventually we're going to go into, hey, we freed Canewrack Island, and like we show up with the
Are we staying here for a
hold
week?
full of stuff that then says that we're saying, hey, we just
You
came from
don't have
Canewrack
to.
Island,
You
but we have a
can spread
whole
it
full of
with
stuff
her.
from other places. Oh, true.
So,
So that means we just need to hide
We
that
only
door.
have to show the documents
if we spend so we're gonna spend a week here.
Then we'll have to see
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
What I would like to do is let our crew like have a sort of vacation and
Yeah, they need
celebrate.
a party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with the skullduggery, we can stop them from saying anything for a week, and then we can just
Yes.
do the let it be known, but then have it not. We don't say that we freed the island. We just say the island was freed.
Yeah.
We'll send out our crew and everybody goes, "Hey, did you hear? It's free now. No more slaves."
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty
And,
much.
and then
After
just
we just agreed to.
no.
After.
A week later, we just disperse the crew. Everybody's in a separate tavern and go,
Crew,
assemble! Yeah.
And they're doing it in a really hokey manner
Yeah.
too.
And then we're just like, "Hey, did you hear about this? That's crazy."
We can
Bye.
either say we ran into another ship on the thing, or I can doctor the documents so that it looks like the stuff we're bringing is from an island that's on the other side of
I think
Canewrack
Corey would
from-
actually want to.
I,
it
for
be
one,
known.
am against not taking credit.
Yeah. I was literally just about to mention that. I'm pretty sure Corey wants to take credit.
You should lose a coin for that.
In fact, he wants to take credit. Well, that's not going against anything. That's just not his fault. The reason I would want to stay anonymous is because I'm still kind of wanted.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, besides there might
So actually
be
you're the
other
only
criminals who don't like us now.
So
Yeah, we don't really want to be associated with this. We can always, if it works to our advantage with a specific group later, we can always say, hey, we're the guys who freed Canewrack Island, but we don't need to be widely
Because
known.
because
there
like
a
no group
reward?
has come forward. Is probably going to come forward
We
about
didn't
it.
ask
So
if anybody on the island was from a rich family.
We can
Well,
brag
because I
when
did
we
a
get
head count,
cannons.
all right. So
yeah,
Your floating harbor patrol.
The thing
This
is-
is kind of
because we've been too
Yeah.
long. Okay.
well, it's more just because it's been
Oh, because it's been used. Okay, awesome.
okay.
Well, the thing is, we've got.
when the patrol, the local constabulary notices that a large shipment of sugar has appeared from somewhere.
I'm
I
definitely
realize there's a whole.
going to make sure that I definitely want to make sure that our books, like our records, are like they're gold. Like I want them to be irrefutable. Did I roll?
If you want them to be irrefutable, yes, you should roll.
I've got 2 floating d6s. So.
Or rerolls.
But presumably it has to be like a pretty good fail to make them obvious things, right?
Yeah.
Like
Go
if
ahead and roll.
ah shit crackers.
It's 25. It's okay. You got it. You got
It's
two.
more along the lines of the higher you roll, the better.
Okay. I got 12 on the die, so assuming bureaucracy would apply to this. And intelligence?
Yep.
24.
Yeah, sorry, that was 11 from that. So I'm already at 23, and I will. Can I use both of them?
Just
use
one.
one.
You can
Okay,
have
I'll
them
just,
one
I'll
after
just
another.
use
one
one.
for now.
2 from that, so 25.
25 is the ridiculously hard DC.
Then I'm good.
You have very good books.
Yeah. This is. I almost called her gladiolas. This is
Books,
Beatrice's
these are the
purpose.
best books.
You could read this as a novel.
It's like in Good Omens when the IRS keeps checking in his Aziraphale because his books are so good they know he's getting away with murder somewhere, but they can't prove it.
Well cooked books.
So I'm guessing we're sailing back to the front of the island.
Make sure our approach is legitimate. Like the angle of approach makes sense.
Yes. We will do this.
No matter where we came from, there's islands.
Yep. So you can ride back and
But
right.
Beatrice is making sure our records are.
You have 53 lucre to
Before
spend.
we land, I talked to the crew and be like, "Don't say a thing about the island, guys. I'll let you. We'll let you know when we can talk about it, and don't tell them it was us."
Oh, we've already repainted the thing. So
Yeah.
Are you repainting the sign?
Yes.
Yes.
Back to the Duchess. We want to be recognized in the port.
Do we?
I mean,
Well, the thing is, if we come in, if any of us
I
are
don't mind. I don't
recognized,
mind.
isn't
need
there
to
like
be
some
able
sort
to
of
say
registration fee that we went through?
There's a
Well-
docking fee and paying your crew, yeah.
and if
Alright.
if we get recognized, we want to be able to not be like, why does your ship name change? Let's take a closer look at your books.
Yes.
These are irrefutable. That's what happened.
It's like, yeah.
So I'm assuming we're going to be doing a lot more illicit goods, right?
Well,
Yeah,
we now
I think
have
so.
a.
Because
now have a
the
hiding
whole like we have a hidey hole.
Yeah.
hiding hole is good for a lot more than just smuggling.
Yeah, we could always.
One day it goes full circle and we just start smuggling slaves.
Well, I can see it at some point, like trying to get
That'll only
somebody
happen.
You end up paying 5 to pay your crew for the 2 months you've been at sea, and for docking taxes and the like. So you have 48 left to piss away on various things.
Okay.
I will tell you the upkeep cost for the bat you must pay every week, or the bat will just die. While you're on an island, the bat can hunt on its own, just fly around and catch things, so you don't have to pay for it while you're in port. The still and the dredge net, you pay the upkeep every week that you're using them. If you do not use one for over a month without paying the cost, you have to spend 2 to repair it before you can use it again.
I have a question.
That's more if you like lapse on running.
It's been distilling water. Can we get it to distill rum
Can we sell
again?
the water?
Can we sell rum?
Still, you can distill anything.
Can we sell rum?
You need the sugar cane.
You need stuff to distill with.
For now, let's not. I wouldn't worry about that too much at the moment. We don't need to work on.
I'm just
sell
thinking
water.
Future.
Yeah.
Well, you can sell water if you encounter a ship on the sea and be like, hey, you need fresh water?
Hey, you need fresh water?
But let's
we're all dying. Only $30
Per bottle.
Per crew member.
We definitely don't want to tell anybody, hey, we have
Only
a method of
30 lucre per
producing.
crew member. Who do you like most?
We definitely don't want to be telling people, though, hey, we have a
How
method of
much
distilling
for
clean water.
for a check of food again?
How much for what?
How much for food again?
It's 2 each
The
unless we
status
get a
2
good.
each unless you actually.
Oh, wait, we have to.
Let's save it for next week.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, although if we do the carousing check now, then we can discuss over email where we want to put the stats. So
So I think you can do.
okay. Alright, so shall we roll bonuses for the carousing check? Anybody got something to add? Because that's what we're
Browsing,
good
haggling, yeah.
I spent an extra week beforehand telling people
Sacrifice
about this awesome ship that's going to come into port.
Sure.
So are we just trying to raise their morale? What are we doing?
I'm thinking no.
Anything
That would be 10 plus 4, just going under.
Do I still have military contacts in this? Do I have any ex-military contacts in this town?
Why do you ask?
So that I can ask, like, talk to them about trade and who to get the best deals from.
Yeah, go ahead.
Cool. Charisma, right?
Yep. If that's
And
what you're doing.
ex-rebel sergeant.
Sure.
Cool. So that'll be 14.
See, if we waited until next week to do this, then we could have added our +1 to skills incremental. And I would have actually passed that check.
Oh, sorry.
Can I
didn't
add?
think about that. You
Can I
mentioned that
add
before we
6
started rolling.
and get 2?
No.
Damn it!
Oh, I'm screwed us on the carousing
You
check.
have one.
I'm sorry, guys.
Have a skill check.
Particularly.
It's fine.
Well, yeah, but we'd also have had things. Okay. Yeah, again, Beatrice. Beatrice would make sure that she's informed people exactly what kind of goods we have to trade, what they're worth, who they're going to be worth the most to, and what laws would work to our advantage in these situations. Yeah, exactly. Like, what can we do to devalue what they're giving us?
And after she gives them her speech, I threaten them to make sure they do it.
Sure.
Oh dear God! I got a nat 20.
Nice.
Insider trading. What's going on right here?
Good old carousing. If I remember right, last time I
18.
boosted the
You did an archery contest
Yeah.
to drum up some fame.
yeah.
You got an 18.
18.
Right. So I have a big ass bat. I'm going to show off and brag about my big ass bat.
Alright.
I'm thinking drawing attention to the bat is not in our interests.
Does he listen?
Do we lock him in the hold? And if we do, can we get a bonus?
You know what? We don't even have to lock him in the hold. We go back, hold. Like, oh, okay.
Well, he's ready. He
Okay.
just whistle. Ah!
Okay, crew vote. Do we stop him from using the
No,
bat?
we only find out halfway through the performance, so we can stop him, but
Yeah,
not
whatever.
after he actually gets some good at it.
As long as you're not. Oh God, no! You're bragging about this shit. Don't mention this
Of
shit
course
name.
he is.
Look,
Okay,
Oh,
no, you
God.
cannot. You absolutely 100% for sure cannot.
You
mention
want to bring the
Canewrack
government
Island.
down on us?
I'm not going
He's
to
not
mention the
mentioning
island.
Canewrack Island.
Or anything that can be associated
No, but
with.
he's mentioning our ship, and
In
if
the
I
sense that he works on it.
if I happen to become known as the captain, my location is revealed, and I'm gonna start being
I'm
hunted
never
once
going to
more.
mention you. This is all about
That
me.
sounds like a you problem.
Yeah. So you take it out with him.
Alright, whatever. Do what you will.
The point is that the more I mention you guys, the less they'll be talking
No,
about
just,
me.
yeah, no, just don't, yeah. Fair enough.
He raises a good point.
Yeah, fair enough. He's only mentioning
You
himself.
guys are probably not being involved in this discussion.
That's fine.
anywhere.
That's fine.
Do not, under any circumstances, mention Canewrack Island.
No. He's only mentioning himself
Yep.
and his prowess
Still
and
with the bat. Do
how
not
he
talk
should be
about
getting
where
great
you got
deals.
the bat. Do not talk about how
Oh,
long you
they're
had
all
the
gonna
bat.
ask where you got the cool bat.
Do not,
this is
under
Bat
any
Club.
circumstances, say
I
how
got it
long
from
you
A
had
bat
this
cave.
man who sells bats.
No,
A Batman, if you will.
No, he found it in a cave. In a bat cave.
We rescued
With
it
a
off
butler.
an island.
There was
Or
this
we
old guy
found-
in there with a big computer, but I beat him up and took it.
Yeah. Alright, that's your
No,
story.
you can add your
Alright, that's
notoriety by
fine.
having a mysterious bat. No one knows what the
No,
story
that's
of the bat
fine.
is.
It's from a cave. Where is the cave?
But the thing is,
I
the
don't
bat had
know. I
previous
sailed
training.
into it.
The bat had previous training, and we have no idea to know if other people on the island might breed these stupid
No,
things.
it was a lost island. It's magic. It's fine.
Let him
It's not magic.
I don't want to say it's
It's not magic.
roll your die
do
and do
it.
not, under any circumstances,
do it.
mention anything.
Roll your die and don't fail.
Answer no questions.
Don't roll a one.
Is Albert talking sparkling eyes?
Sure.
Can I give him? Oh my!
You didn't roll a 1.
Technically not a one.
One.
What?
5.
Let's see. That is a total of 14.
So is that 3 people who would have gotten it if not for the incremental?
Just 2.
Vivian, have you done yours?
No, I haven't. I'm gonna do.
You sneak into people's like storehouses and be like, "What are they low on?" Nice. I know what to trade.
Yeah, actually, that's legit. I'll bring Shay and Kopesh with you.
You know, I still failed, but I still bragged about the bat.
Yeah.
Not that
God
getting-
damn it! He's writing things down. This is never good.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it's sometimes good. Right now, it's not good.
Here's the thing: if he's continually causing us problems, we maroon him, or we make him walk the plank. There are solutions to our problem.
He give him a one-shot pistol.
There's a control issues.
You're on an island. Here's some rum.
Yes, we have control issues.
Oh my
I'm
God.
sorry, I'm chilling my beans. I'm going over to the corner.
I'm just gonna quietly tuck my head into my arms and breathe deeply.
All right, Vivian, what you doing?
I'm gonna do some spying, I guess. On
Corporate
other...
espionage.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's like, oh,
She's
so
doing
how much
corporate
is this
espionage.
worth?
Okay. Go ahead.
Oh,
Give me your Dexy Thievery roll.
9 plus.
You should be
12
okay.
is 21.
No one?
Yeah. Alright,
Did you do
it's
it?
too bad we rolled it this week. I'm sorry.
Not that bad.
You get to use your skill points for other things now.
You know, my alternative idea was going to be a lot worse.
Alright.
That's
You
not
can
helping
pick
your case, bro.
4 things to knock the price down.
Excellent.
Most expensive skill. Most expensive skill.
For each die you spend on the skill, you create a discount.
Okay, so that's what we have. So we know what we have to work with, and we can discuss the actual things we're spending it on in email. Could you mention that, like,
Pair of
in
2s and a pair of 1s, yeah.
yeah, just like explain how that functions, because we're not really
Okay.
gonna be able to ask you questions.
It is kind of weird.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, one of our crew members has plenty of food that we can take.
What?
Dead people.
Good job. You're set.
Yeah, you're set. You're just like,
you're like, I
you're
know
doing
these were
surgery, and you're like, oh no, he died in the operation. No.
Is it kind of like where you're making a sandwich and you keep eating bits of it as you go?
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need 2 kidneys, how?
Isn't that the concept of that new show that's coming out? It's
like, oh, look, he has an appendix.
Oh my God.
Zombie coroner?
Yeah, I saw a trailer for
Oh,
this show,
iZombie. iZombie. She eats the brains and then retains some of the memories of that person. It's actually a really good comic book,
So she's a Lovecraftian ghoul.
basically.
Because that's what they do.
No, it's basically, yeah, but like she also helps solve their problems from their past life.
It looks
It's really interesting.
Long past the point where they give a shit.
No, it's like they have unresolved issues. Like after
They're
they're
dead.
No, after
Their
they're
issues are by
It's
definition
when
resolved.
people are ghosts
It's
and
murder.
stuff. They
It's
have
like
that
a
kind of
murder.
crap.
It's a cop show.
It's actually pretty good. It's a really good comic book. Check it out.
Like, I freely admit it sounds interesting, and I will probably watch that. Well, could have fought Sahagwin.
Good game,
Glad we
smugglers.
didn't.
Good game.
Yeah, actually, this is a lot of
To
fun.
be fair,
Are you
as-
curious what the item does?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
Yes.
Too bad.
I mean,
It
no.
might
The
come up
thing is,
again,
we can
then.
probably find it later. It's not like he.
Yeah, I think so.
Just give it a different name relating to whatever that current event is. Done. But
Oh, the
still
Sahagwa
keep the
item?
horrible condition, power.
I mean, our next job could just be let's go hunt some
I want to know
Sahagwa.
what the special item we got from the. Oh no, that was just a bonus to the curse. Sorry.
I like that magic is now super evil and corruptive.
Yeah, it's actually quite
Yes.
fabulous. I like the.
Okay,
Our
so
mission is now to feed into the Sahagwa.
No, it didn't. Terribly backfired.
I think
Again, I
Jeff.
don't have a problem with him doing stupid ass shit. The only time I have a problem is when you do it secretly. Without consulting us.
Because the coral reef thing was actually pretty cool.
When you do things
I think
that
either
affect,
Jeffrey
that
or I
was
should
actually
go
pretty
to
cool.
the
And that
guardhouse
worked to our advantage, and
after
it
the
was
1
something that
week
makes sense for our crew. I
period,
like
You
all
only
and then
say
do
that
the
now?
hey, they're
No,
free.
because
You guys
he's
should send a
a
ship
though.
to
No,
lock
even
it
if
down.
it failed, it made sense for him, it made sense for our crew, and it was kind of cool.
No, it's just his arguments aren't that strong.
Yeah, I'm not very good at arguing.
That's the issue.
Then you can keep trying to help his arguments
It
in
depends
future.
on what it is.
I am always willing to help any argument
Yeah.
in favor of doing something dumb and risky.
Yeah.
Never trust the
And-
GM.
Always trust the GM.
Always listen to the GM when you roll a nat
Why
20
would
on
I
your
ever
intelligence
do
check and he
anything
tells
to
you
her?
not to do something.
That's true. I have on occasion
That was
just
special
flat out
case.
giving you a skill check to not do something.
That's more special case.